Presented by McDonald's. For the first time since 2018, the Aggie-Eagle Classic returns to the city and county of Durham. North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T set to go head-to-head. These two schools are less than an hour from each other, and let me tell you, there is no love lost between them. The Aggies and Eagles have been going at it for more than a century. The runouts here at O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, as this one is a big one, folks. Let's tell you about this meetup between the two. Hey, 1922 is when they first met on the gridiron. North Carolina A&T has the advantage overall. However, they have split the last 10 games. North Carolina Central winning the last 2, and they have the edge here in the Bull City. As we say hello and welcome you in, that's my partner, the former Howard University and NFL quarterback, Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Green. Hey, look, Jay, this is my first Aggie-Eagle Classic, so I'm just taking it all in. But for the viewers at home, what can they expect from this in-state rivalry?
Well, I think the legendary Black College Football Hall of Fame coach Rob Broadway, who won a national championship at North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T, said it best. He said North Carolina A&T does not like North Carolina Central, but North Carolina Central hates North Carolina A&T, and you can feel it here in the atmosphere. Yeah,
we know that there are a number of divided households within the state of North Carolina, and they are in the stands here. Now, when you look at North Carolina Central, this is a team out of the MEAC, a preseason favorite, and they have got a guy who's a leading candidate for that Offensive Player of the Year thus far. Thus far in Jamari Taylor.
Yeah, Jamari Taylor's dynamic. When he's on the field, he simply has the vision to get everything done. A complete running back. His vision is his key, as I mentioned before. He finds the hole. He can run hard in between the tackles. He's great in pass protection, but he can also hurt you in the passing game. And once he finds any crease of daylight, he knows how to find the end zone. If he can come up with some nice runs like this today, then look for North Carolina Central have an opportunity to defend their home field.
We've got a glimpse of the every down back for the Eagles back in week 1. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got a dual threat in terms of the backfield for the Aggies with Wesley Graves and Kenji Christian.
Yeah, the good old school thunder and lightning. I like to say Wesley Graves is like that bowling ball with legs. He just runs downhill at you. And Kenji Christian is the lightning portion of it, but he can hurt you in so many ways. He's not just a one-trick pony. He's an NFL talent. They're going to need lightning to show up here today for the Aggies.
Kenji Christian, who missed last week with a leg injury. They are happy to have him back in the lineup. And soar Eagles, soar the student section on the home side for North Carolina Central. They are ready and certainly about to get rowdy on the other side. We heard a lot of Aggie pride yelled out from the visitor stands from the group out of Greensboro, North Carolina, blue and gold. But tonight they're in the white unis, the gray unis for Central, with maroon helmets. And we are underway in this 2024 edition of the Aggie-Eagle Classic. Back for the return, and already quickly underway. The Aggies making some noise on the return down the sideline. There he goes, and into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, what a way to start it off for North Carolina A&T. Aaron Harris, the captain, just got loose.
You know, Tiff, I go to what you say. You said it felt like a 1980s, 90s HBCU football game. Well, no games the special teams play will let you down. And in a rivalry game, you have to play great special teams. North Carolina A&T taking advantage of the mishap by North Carolina Central to strike first.
And there was just nobody within 5 or 10 yards as Aaron Harris got a running start, and boom, he just kept going. Well, that's a way to ignite your team coming off a loss last week to Delaware. This group 1 and 2, and former MEAC foes with North Carolina Central punches the Eagles in the mouth first with that kickoff return for a touchdown. The extra point attempt is blocked. So Andrew Brown has his
rivalry game.
PAT block. Yeah, that's exactly Right, Jay, because we're going to see a whole lot of interesting stuff, I feel like, throughout the game, because you throw all records and everything else out the window in rivalry games.
Just a good job of getting that left hand on it for the block. And, you know, folks were asking, hey, who's going to win this game? What do you like? And I said, I just call the game. However, I know that North Carolina A&T has a lot to play for, and in a rivalry game, it's showing up early.
Well, Vincent Brown, second-year head coach for the Aggies. Happy to see his group get off to a great start and really see special teams set the tone.
The Undertaker, Vincent Brown.
The former second-round pick out of Mississippi Valley State, played more than a decade in the NFL with the New England Patriots. His coaching experience spans across multiple conferences. He's coached in the CAA before, the Colonial Athletic Conference or Association rather, and so he's back in it again trying to lead these Aggies.
And I was fortunate enough to play with him at the New England Patriots. You know what's the difference? He didn't play with me. I got to play with him. Vincent Brown, HBCU legend and a pro football legend as well.
Phenomenal linebacker he was. All right, the Aggies kick it off. And this one, he is going to bounce out of bounds. So that's not what you want. But again, we're going to see a whole lot of everything, I feel like, in this game. So it's going to be great starting field position for North Carolina
Kick out
Central.
of bounds. Kicking team. Number 39. The ball be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, North Carolina Central.
Well, that was the voice of Derek Haddon, a referee for tonight in this MEAC officials crew. And now we'll get an opportunity to see this offense for North Carolina Central led by Walker Harris. Remember, he is filling the shoes of Davius Richard, and now this is Walker Harris's team. He has been in this system. Last week, he was knocked out of the game against UNC because of a concussion, but glad that he is back in the southpaw signal caller for the Eagles.
And one of the things you have to realize, he is a southpaw, so the protection and the blitzes will come from the left side, which is different.
You talked about Jamari Taylor in the open, and there he got loose, found a crease in a hole. He was brought down by David Laney, but not before first down and more.
And look at the vision, holes right there. And that was wide open, makes another cut as well. He sees the hole, he sees things very, very slowly in between the tackles, which is rare. And he normally gets to the right spot.
15-yard pickup puts the Eagles at midfield. The handoff once again, the patient running of Taylor, and he's tripped up and brought down.
Did you see the patience there? I mean, I was looking for the wham block, so he's going to go around to the outside. When he saw a crease, to do a hop and cut underneath the block before it set up and picked up 5 yards.
Redshirt junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Coming off a relatively quiet game against the Tar Heels last Saturday. Just picked up 46 yards on the ground. And they keep it on the ground once more and brought down by Cade Mullador. Well, one of the things that Central is going to test is this run defense for North Carolina A&T. They have not had success thus far this season stopping the run. They give up an average of 5.5 yards a carry, and so they're going to continue to do a steady flow of running. But here, 3rd and 5, you think an obvious passing down.
And maybe a good opportunity for Walker Harris to get his first pass attempt. He's going to look for a quick pre-snap read if he can find something he likes right away in the quick passing game.
Here's looking, has protection, has a man, turned around, and Markel Quick couldn't get to it. Tried to turn his body around in time, had a step on the defender, but the pass is incomplete against that All-American, or one of those freshman All-Americans coming out of Kansas now with A&T, Karan Prunty.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Joshua Hardy makes a mental mistake there, and instead of 4th down, it's a fresh set for the Eagles.
He threw him down. I mean, today's college football, you can't do that. When I played, you ran until the guy, the play was over. But now today's college football, ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you have to let him go. Obvious penalty.
Harris on first down. This pass attempt complete this time to Markel Quick. And Quick steps out of bounds at just about the 17-yard line. It's good enough to move the chains and keep the drive going now inside the red zone.
And that's the type of passer that Walker Harris is. When he's got timing and rhythm, when his pre-snap read lets him know ahead of time where he's going with the football, he's very effective. But when he has to start rethinking and dropping back late in his read, making those split decisions, he struggles a little bit.
Well, NCCU has scored a touchdown on 2 of their 3 opening drives this season. Can they make good here? Joaquin Davis in motion, the handoff by Taylor, and a flag flies out.
Caught him in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense. Number 25. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That was against Mac David, the second, who you mentioned was
setting up the blitz on the right side there. So he's trying to time up the run-stopping type blitz, but you can't cross the line of scrimmage. He gets over there, they snap the ball, clear penalty, another self-inflicted wound. That's the second penalty on this drive by the Aggie defense.
If you're Trey Oliver, the head coach for North Carolina Central, you want to see your team answer back here on this opening drive and take advantage and capitalize on those miscues from A&T as Jamari Taylor is brought down by a number of white jerseys, including Mac David and Terrell Dudley on the play.
There was absolutely nothing there. I mean, they played great defense, but look at the decision by Taylor to make himself small. Look at this. Where is he going? Up, I'm just going to make myself skinny, go in between these white jerseys and pick up 4 yards on the play.
So 2nd and 1 for North Carolina Central. And once again, the every down trusty back of Jamari Taylor gets enough. And it's going to bring up 1st and goal, Eagles. Well, this is a team out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference who started off the year against Alabama State down in the Orange Blossom Classic on Labor Day weekend, got the win, and then faced off against an FCS opponent and contender in Elon. And then we mentioned UNC, so trying to bounce back from a couple of losses, but more importantly, they want to continue to reign over their in-state rivals, North Carolina A&T. Taylor on the carry and brought down from behind. Jamari Taylor, again, who has had a steady dose of carries this game, who's brought down by Kelvin Broadhurst Jr.
And right now, offensive coordinator Matt Leone, you got to change it up. They're daring Walker Harris to throw the ball. And down in the red zone, you live with that, but you're trying to bunch him up. I think you need to spread him out. And Walker Harris is going to have to make some type of play here. With that many white jerseys close to the line of scrimmage, don't want your quarterback turning his back to the defense. Take a shot outside.
Look to the bottom of your screen, 88, Joaquin Davis, a preseason all-MEAC selection. Instead, they say, no, we're going to go with Jamari Taylor, and the extra effort gets him into the end zone. Matt Leone said, nope, we're going to keep on running it down their throats. Success on the opening drive, 4-yard touchdown for Jamari Taylor.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Well, didn't see that penalty marker come out. That wipes out the touchdown. And so instead of going for the PAT, the offense will try to get another crack at it here.
Well, wipes out a fantastic scoring run by Jamari Taylor with the mental error. Somebody not lined up where they're supposed to be. Takes the points off the board.
So 2nd and goal now from the 9-yard line, and another Penalty flies out. Penalty marker comes out again, and there looks like there was some confusion up front along that shift.
I don't want to speculate, but it seemed like there was so much movement with the North Carolina A&T line that it drew the central line to move. In that case, you can penalize A&T.
False start. Offense. Number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So that's against Jaquan Sprinkle, and this is not the direction that the Eagles were hoping to go. They were at the 4-yard line, and now they're at the 14. Still second and goal.
Still man-to-man coverage, and then loading the box trying to stop the run. Have to be able to throw the football in this situation.
Harris looking, finds Joaquin Davis coming across the middle, and he's in! Touchdown, North Carolina Central. Joaquin Davis, their top returning receiver, his second touchdown of the year. This one from 14 yards out. He caught it and did the rest.
Well, you always hear me say man-to-man coverage, the best type of routes, crossing routes. And all it was a crossing route. If you've got one-on-one coverage, it's the hardest route to defend. Watch him come across the formation, full speed. He's got some room and able to get into the end zone. Great job by Davis here in the slot. 88 takes his time, then boom, watch him. He's turning on the Jets. I've got some space and finish it off against Prunty, who's a really good cornerback for North Carolina A&T.
So Juan Velarde on to attempt the extra point and give North Carolina Central the lead, and he is successful in doing so. 8 plays in just under 5 minutes, and North Carolina Central answers here in this rivalry game. They're up 7-6 over A&T. Countered here. It's 7-6 from Durham, and North Carolina Central, led by head coach Trey Oliver, an alumnus of the university. In his 5th season, he's already got a Celebration Bowl championship under his belt back in 2022 with the Eagles, but also, interestingly enough, he used to coach at North Carolina A&T in that inaugural year of that Cricket Celebration Bowl. He was on staff with Rod Broadway. He was the head coach at the time, and also was able to pick up another ring. This one goes into the end zone for a touchback. So fireworks quickly to start this one. We saw Aaron Harris with that 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and now we'll see what this North Carolina A&T offense can do under the direction of Kevin White, the sophomore out of Newport News, Virginia.
And White's a guy, dual threat guy, more of a runner than he is a passer right now. In this stage of his career, can really hurt you with his legs. Needs to get that ratio up there a little bit more with the touchdown interception ratio, but he's got a bright future ahead of him in this system.
Start from the 25, first play from scrimmage, a pass. It's complete to Jakari Caldwell. Caldwell, one of those key transfers in that he's one of the go-to targets for White early on in the season. Caldwell coming over from South Carolina. That's where he originally hailed from, in Rock Hill. And now he suits up with the Aggies. That brings up 2nd and 1. First look at Kendrick Christian, and Christian on the outside. Christian, you talked about the lightning. He's got one man to beat, and he's popped out of bounds by Isaiah Norris. So if you were wondering how his leg was after missing last week, looking mighty fine and spry on that run.
Yeah, and just look at this. His poor eye recognition by the secondary of North Carolina Central. They fell for the ball fake, and then Christian just turned on the Jets to the outside, then tried to take it to Isaiah Norris on this tackle to pick up some more yardage.
A 50-plus yard run for Christian. Here's White, who felt the pressure, trying to get it away. But also Jelani Vassell was right there in his face. And Rover in the defense for the Eagles.
Great job of timing up the snap. He realized, hey, if he gives it to him, I'm going to blow him up in the backfield. He does not, stays on the quarterback and able to put a pop on him to force the incompletion.
Vassell, who likes to make a lot of noise in that secondary out of Tampa, Florida. It's 2nd and 10 from the Eagles' 18, or rather 13. This time on the carry, we see Wesley Graves, the thunder in the package for the Aggies. Vassell once more in on the tackle. So 3rd down the line. The game here to convert the 1st down is the 4-yard line. And this is an area where North Carolina Central has been stout, perfect in the red zone in terms of their defense.
The key is going to be keeping the quarterback, Kevin White, in the pocket. Do not allow him to get on the edge.
Here's Christian once more and not able to escape. He's brought down by Ryan Wynn. Wynn, who is getting the start tonight for the injured Juju Williams. Also, Malcolm Reed came in at the end of that play as well.
Nowhere to go, and just a great job of beating your man one-on-one on the line of scrimmage. Brevard and Wynn on the double-team tackle.
So Andrew Brown, he's back on the field this time to attempt a 27-yard field goal attempt. And trying to give the Aggies the lead right back. Snap and hold are good. The kick is up and it's through. So Andrew Brown, who was 2 for 2 last week, now improves to his 7th field goal on the season. And Vincent Brown's crew from Greensboro, North Carolina, is back on top 9-7.
ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's.
Jay Walker, Tiffany Green. Jay, I'm going to put you on the spot, partner. What you think about what you see, the slabs?
Too much flame in the middle of the pit right there, right now. The ribs have char on them right there, and the other ones, I'm not a char guy. What about you, Tiff?
Not so much.
Not charred on my ribs. Not on my ribs. I'll take it on my burgers. Turn down the heat a little bit. I need a little bit more smoke, a little less flame.
Well, you see the blue and gold on the opposing side. The Aggies came to travel. That's a good look at the NCCU sound machine band. Marching bands are going to be on full display at halftime, along with the blue and gold marching machine. Chris Mosley receives it for the touchback. Walker Harris trying to engineer another drive. When you look at that opening possession for North Carolina Central, 6 of 8 plays were on the ground. They rode Jamari Taylor during that drive, and we expect to see much of that tonight. They were able to convert on a handful of first downs, and Trey Oliver says whenever Walker Harris needs to make a play or a pass, he always can go to Joaquin Davis, and Davis was on the receiving end of a touchdown.
And I'm looking at the 2 safeties high for North Carolina A&T, showing the respect for Jamari Taylor. But I think if you're Walker Harris and the offensive coordinator, Matt Leone, you got to go with the number count. I mean, if A&T can let their front 7 dictate, they will try that. But when you break the huddle and you see the 2 safeties, number 7 and number 21, 8-9 yards away from the line of scrimmage, sometimes 10, then that's when I'm getting the ball to my playmaker, Taylor, and ask him to run the football.
That 9-yard pickup from Markel Quick. 2nd and a yard. The pitch out, and a great open field tackle, anticipating it the entire way, was Trey Mittman.
And Mittman's coming up from that safety position, so anytime he's 6-7 yards from the line of scrimmage, he's there for run support. He's a guy that's unblocked. He's a safety, so he's the one guy that they don't have blocked. You see he gets a free run at the running back. Timed it up well. Good play by Mittman.
Mittman, who is from the Bull City here in Durham, North Carolina, played his high school football at South Durham High School. Now let's see if his defense can get a stop here on 3rd and 1. No, sir, says Jamari Taylor. You let him loose. He finds a crease. He finds some room, and he's in. Jamari Taylor. Jay, this guy is electrifying.
It's the vision. I mean, you know, he could have hit it up in there hard for 1 yard, but he saw daylight and he attacked the crease and it became a foot race. And the great runners, they're going to find a way to get to the end zone. And that's just what Jamari Taylor does. If you need 1 yard, well, how about a touchdown for you? Explosive, exciting runner, Jamari Taylor.
Velarde, the extra point, good.
Hey, you want to see something? Okay, I see you. Can you catch me? Catch me if you can. Nah, bump that. You're not going to catch me. Points on the board, Central.
Let that sit there and simmer for y'all. Georgia, Alabama, coming your way next Saturday, College Game Day. You'll be in the house. Take a break. Meanwhile, let's talk about Aggies and Eagle fans in the house here tonight, Jay. I mean, we expected that this was going to be an awesome game, a sellout last week. Then they had to sell extra seats on the outside of the stadium in the track area.
They sold out of 5,000 seats for the tailgate. So they've got jumbotrons out there. They're watching the game, and they showed us some hospitality coming into the game. My man, Demetrius Thomas and the Eagle Pride, friends of Harnett County, had some good food over there, Tiffany.
Yeah, we did.
People don't know how much you eat. You got your eating in. See, I just grabbed the burger, but you had the whole plate.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to take a sample of everything, right? Like, I'm no different than Wesley Graves, right? The big running back from North Carolina A&T. I'm sure he's got a great appetite. I'd like to join him in that. So you got to have your fried fish, and, you know, I like it with some mustard and
you see most
some white bread.
See, most of those seats are the Aggies, whatever, because they couldn't buy enough tickets to get into the stadium. So they opened it up, and you see the Aggie fans that could not get seats bought the tailgate tickets.
Play action from Kevin White, trying to find out where to go. Shakes Jaden Taylor, still on his feet, and slides down. A gain of about 1 or 2, I'd say. I mean, Malcolm Reed brought him down, but you saw he was chased out of the pocket. Jaden Taylor, number 10 in gray for North Carolina Central, his first game back.
That's a good sign for them. The defensive tackle is a load to contain on the inside. He can bring any type of inside pressure to force the quarterback out of the pocket. That's when his defense is playing at its best.
Here on 3rd and 6, let's see what David Marsh, the OC, dials up for this Aggies offense. Trying to get it quickly out of the backfield into the hands of Wesley Graves. Incomplete. That brings up 4th down.
And great job of dialing up the blitz by Courtney Cord. Short field to the boundary. He's going to make him get rid of it hot quickly with the blitz. Not an easy throw and catch. And great timing to get the pressure on him by Jelani Vassell once again from his safety position to time up the snap.
Now you look at Vincent Brown. He looks like he could still play that linebacker position, don't you think?
I still shake when I see Brown. You know, as a rookie, he was intimidating then and still intimidating now.
Nice punt coverage there from A&T, and even better punt there from DJ Page, the true freshman.
Now, this is that point in the game where, you know, when everybody asks about the game, it's a rivalry game. It's, you know, on paper you may think Central has a better team, but A&T is going to bring it. Well, if you're Central and you think you have the better team and you've got this 5-point lead, this is when you step on the gas. A crucial time to increase the lead, to try to eliminate hope of North Carolina A&T early.
Well, then you just...
But just like that, I have to catch up. Why is Jamari Taylor not in the backfield?
Maybe they need to spell him.
You need to cool them off?
Just for a moment, they also really like Chris Mosley. And Chris Mosley, who they say is a guy who's got a ton of speed, one of the fastest on this team. And so he's got a nice change of pace option, too, that the Eagles can play with.
Yeah, see, we're in North Carolina, so you're like Dean Smith. Dean Smith, the only person that hold Michael Jordan 14 points a game. Right now, Jamari Taylor is hot. The vision is there. I'm riding the hot hand. I'm going to ride it. I understand you spell him a little bit, but I'm not starting off a series without my best playmaker on the field.
The handoff once more to Mosley, and Mosley is going to be about a yard short of the first down marker. Thus far, the Eagles have been very successful on the ground in this opening quarter, nearing the century mark on the ground. You see Chris Mosley takes a breather.
Did a good job. Average 4.5 per carry.
There you go.
Give him credit.
Yeah.
They bring in Arthur Rodgers in the backfield, more of the
ball of muscle, they like to say.
Yes, short yardage, go downhill. A&T should load the box up, bring an extra guy down, try and stop the run.
And Rodgers, who has to fight for that yard, it's close. It looks like, based on the spot, it's going to be good enough for a first down. Malik Ward was there to challenge him. And right now, Matt Leone has got a beat on this Aggie defense. I mean, you know the scouting report coming in. If you can run the football, you can have success against North Carolina A&T. And Matt Leone is giving a steady dose of rushes for his offense so far tonight. 94 yards on the ground. Walker Harris looking to pass. One-on-one coverage on the outside. It's got a step and nearly brought in. The diving effort from Chauncey Spikes. He had one-on-one coverage with Janez Sumter. Almost got to it.
And when you throw a ball with a line drive trajectory, it's got to be perfect. And this was almost a perfect pass. I mean, he missed by like a couple inches. Like to see him put some more air under it so Spikes can run underneath it. But that was a perfect throw, near perfect throw and catch. But that's the problem. When you don't put air under it, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Leone and the staff, he said, look, he throws a great ball indeed, as spinning around pinball is Chris Mosley for a few yards. I mean, Walker Harris is a guy who we mentioned steps into some big shoes for Davius Richard, who was one of the all-time leading passers in North Carolina Central history. But every game that he got a chance to be in the huddle with and be at practice with Davius, he took all that great work ethic, all that leadership, all that knowledge with him, and he trained just as if he was a starter. Now he's got this great opportunity here to try to lead the Eagles back to Atlanta for the Cricket Celebration Bowl. The pass complete. Jamari Taylor out of the backfield. That's what makes him so dynamic, is his ability to just be that all-around back, as you mentioned, Jay.
And they do a good job of disguising it. You know, you think he's going to block the edge, and he just keeps going. And he and Harris have that type of timing together. They can make positive plays in the passing game as well.
So closing in on a minute in the opening quarter here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium. It was North Carolina A&T who popped out with a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Central answered. They currently have the lead 14-9. Harris has a man. What a thread of the needle, and nobody's going to get him. Touchdown. That's Markel Quick. 60 yards, and Quick showing off his quickness.
Great job by Quick, but you know what? I'm going to give it up to Walker Harris. That was a big-time play individually. He called his own number. That's one when you pull that ball. But watch this. When he decides to pull it, zings it. Then he gets hit, and he's on the ground celebrating. I know I got this touchdown, but that was all him. Because if it's an incompletion, you're like, why'd you do that? But when it works, he's giving a little swag. Yeah, fellas, I did that. And Walker Harris, you did do that.
7 plays, 81 yards, just over 3.5 minutes taken off the clock. And Central will attempt the extra point, but before they're able to do so, we've got a penalty marker.
Delay of game. Offense, number 59. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
Walker Harris out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. You know, there are a number of North Carolinians on this roster for Central. They like the homegrown talent. And Walker Harris is a great example of that.
Look out.
Mishandled snap. And into the end zone. Oh, in and out of the hands. So nearly made good on that bad snap. It was bobbled. Luke Bracey almost was able to haul it in. A good job for Quest Powell, who is the backup quarterback, to make that pass and try to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. He made the first guy miss, bought some time, threw a catchable ball, but Luke Bracey not able to bring it in. Look at the ball snap, bobbled, knows he's not going to get there. Nice stiff arm. Now watch him get his composure. See somebody open. You got to make that catch. That should be 2. As a quarterback, you can't throw it and catch it. He made the throw. Bracey's got to make that catch. We'll see if that 1 to 2 points is a factor in this game.
Well, missed PAT on both sides, but let's listen in to the NCCU sound machine. Spoken like a true West Coaster. You know the song, Jay. Uh-oh. Bobbled and brought down. So it's A&T going to have the ball on their own 4-yard line after mishandling.
Wow. You can't do that.
That one bounces off, and he's in the end zone.
Yeah, all you do is just let it go over your head. Mm-hmm. Get out the way. You don't even have to catch it or touch it. That's another mental mistake that could haunt the Aggies. They're on their own 4-yard line.
The ruling on the field was the kick was muffed in the end zone, recovered at the 5-yard line. First down, North Carolina A&T.
So they place it at the 5, but Kevin White and this A&T offense has some work to do. See the shift of the tight ends to the left side. And the design run here all the way for Kevin White, trying to escape, but Quantez Mansfield was right on his back.
And I don't feel for Kevin White right now, because knowing Central like they are on defense, they're coming. They're going to come for him. You're that far backed up. They're going to bring some blitzes. And wow, tough to see Kevin White on the ground right now.
And you saw him point that left upper arm in the shoulder area. Don't want to speculate here, but Kevin White is getting attention now from the athletic training staff. You see Mansfield was tracking him the whole way.
Wow, landed on him.
Landed on him. Nearly 300 pounds.
What
landing on White.
What about that effort from Mansfield? I mean, he tried to catch him in the back, in the back of the play, but kept running down the line with that motor. White had no chance of seeing him coming because he thought he'd already outrun him 4 or 5 yards in the backfield. And that's a big man in Mansfield, 6'2", 300-pound defensive tackle.
And Justin Fomby, graduate transfer, the Houston Christian, was getting warmed up just in case. You know, there was a QB battle.
Absolutely.
During fall camp, it was Kevin White who edged out the veteran, as that's a great sign, seeing Kevin White able to walk off under his own power. And so the sophomore, who is clutching and holding his midsection, he is visibly in pain. We'll hope to get an injury update. So Justin Fomby will now take the field. He's seen a limited time thus far this season, 10 of 20 through the air for 81 yards. And Fomby, who doesn't come into a favorable situation, 2nd and 8 inside his own 10-yard line.
They'll probably take it easy and not come after Fomby early on to get a feel for his style of play like they did White.
The handoff there, some hard hitting as Kenji Christian is brought down. Ja'Kai Brevard was in on the stop. Ja'Kai Brevard, one of those thumpers at will, as that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Well, certainly it was all that we thought it would be to start in this in-state rivalry game between A&T and Central. The Eagles soaring after one quarter. They're up by 2 scores. Minutes ago, the starting quarterback for North Carolina A&T, Kevin White, walking back into the tent after being injured on the last play. We talked about just kind of that QB competition during camp. So White, who was in his 2nd season with the Aggies, is out for now. Justin Fomby, who comes into the program, is now in his stead. And Braxton Thomas, who would be the next man up, the true freshman out of Sarasota, Florida, waiting just in case. Fomby here on 3rd down, being chased again. He was pop pass incomplete, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, welcome to some HBCU football delivered there. And another blow by Vassell. Timing it up and a little pop after the throw. And it's going to change with Fomby in the game. He's more of a passer. Transferred from Houston Christian, used to be known as Houston Baptist. They like to throw the ball all over the field. So dynamic this game will change offensively for A&T.
So Page, standing in his own end zone, is not able, to get it off. And what a play by special teams. Touchdown, North Carolina Central. The block punt. And then the flag coming out after the touchdown, the excessive celebration. But that's one to cheer about if you're an Eagles fan.
And look at this. This is just effort there. Great job going over the would-be blocker.
That was Isaiah
Sideline warning.
Fisher-Smith.
North Carolina Central. Result of a play. Touchdown.
23 and gray. Isaiah Fisher-Smith with the block, and it was recovered by Jackson Gibbs in the end zone for the touchdown. And you see Fisher-Smith throwing up the hooks. A man of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and he gets the love going to the sideline as well. And nothing pleases a coach more than when you see special teams do their thing, your offense and defense gelling at the same time, and when you're clicking on all cylinders. Right now, that's what we're seeing from NCCU.
And that's the makeup, because the special teams gave up an opening kickoff return, but they returned the favor by getting the pump block for the score and converting on the PAT.
Right now, it's all North Carolina Central. And Jay, while we have this opportunity, you know, you got to think, well, how well would North Carolina Central fare in this season? A lot expected of them. How do you have them ranked in your HBCU power rankings?
I think when you look at the most impressive victory of the season in HBCU football, it goes with North Carolina Central beating Alabama State down there in Alabama. Florida A&M, they've got off to a rough start, but they've won the game they had to win. I don't give them style points, but they're number 1. I got Central number 2, but they're looking real good. Howard, the Bison, they took an L today, so they're going to drop a little bit. Alabama State, Eddie Robinson Jr. has them playing good football, and Jackson State's that team. Jackson State is that team to watch out for. T.C. Taylor's group as well. And I see you. I'm giving you some love out there. See what you're doing down there at Alcorn said. Alcorn State's right there on the bubble, and they may move up if they can take care of some business with the Bison of Howard losing the day. Again.
In a row to
Hampton
University,
Institute,
who is now going to wear that banner of the real HE.
No, there's only one HE.
Year.
Don't rub it in. The team lost. There's only one HE.
And here, on the return, just patiently waiting, trying to see the blockers set up, and Daniel Coles has a decent return. Want to make a correction. It was Trey Goodrich who recovered the punt for a touchdown for North Carolina Central to give them this 27-9 advantage. This is the most points we have seen in the first half scored by Central. The question is, how will this Aggie offense get going or adjust and adapt to Justin Fomby?
If I'm Fomby, I'm like, hey, I want to come into a game not when we have a lead, but when we're down, and I need to make some throws. If I came here to throw the football, down by 18 points, you're going to have to throw the football. Get excited about it and seize the opportunity.
Well, quickly out of the hands of Fomby and into the hands of Anthony Rucker. And a gain of about 3 or 4 for Rucker.
One thing about Fomby, he's got size, 6'4", 218 pounds. Quick release. I was watching him during the warm-ups, and I noticed the release is quick and his size stands out.
Passing again, nearly intercepted. Well, you know, Isaiah Norris certainly would want that one, as the umpire, who kind of shielded the receiver for just a second. He tried to kind of duck out of the way.
Yeah, that's just late. That's just the timing of not working with the number ones all week. You hope as this game goes on, he'll get on the same page for the timing with the wide receivers. Take a shot. They're showing you man-to-man coverage. Find the one-on-one matchup and go for it.
We want to look for number 1 again. That's who he's targeting once more, Jakari Campbell. And threw it out of bounds. Didn't even give his receiver an opportunity, because you could get a penalty there, or, you know, PI if you could.
And you got a 6'4" wide receiver. You don't throw it out of bounds. You underthrow it, allow him to jump up, try and make that 50-50 ball, or as you said, give your chance opportunity for pass interference. When you throw the ball 5 yards out of bounds, no chance at all.
Well, Paige, who has been busy tonight, Markel Quick is ready to receive his punt. Quick standing around his own 30-yard line. Remember, he had that burst for a touchdown. They nearly blocked that one, maybe got a piece of it. It still takes a pretty good roll for the Aggies, and it's down at the 29-yard line of North Carolina Central. Well, Walker Harris so far tonight, 5 of 6 through the air, 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. The redshirt freshman, who has had pretty great command of this offense thus far. We'll get a chance to see what he does on this next possession when we return. And it looks like the night is done for Kevin White out of pads. You see his arm in a sling with ice on that left shoulder. The coach is trying to console him on the sideline, as the sophomore who earned the starting job. We hope that he has a speedy recovery. Walker Harris, the redshirt junior, back here on 1st and 10. Again, patient running, the vision of Jamari Taylor. Jay, as you mentioned, is something that is really special. And you think about, you know, the running backs of pass here, and all you have to do is go back to last year. Taylor was a teammate with Latrell Mookie Collier. And again, they just keep cycling through really good running backs.
You know, hats off to Taylor, you know, paying his dues. I mean, that class with Mookie Collier, Davis Richard, those guys, they had the star power. Well, the coaches told us Taylor was good enough to start, but when you had a guy that a little bit more experience had been here first, he got some touches, but now I think we're starting to see what he can really do. And, you know, the more you watch him, it's like his style is like Le'Veon Bell. You know, he can set up the blockers. You know, doesn't dance as much as Bell would do, but for this young man to have the vision, you can tell that's somebody he's emulated his running style like.
And I got to say, you know, it was Jared Hunter, the Howard running back, as the preseason offensive player of the year, but I think you can put him, Jamari Taylor, number 4 engraved on your screen, in that conversation as well from what we've seen of him thus far.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a guy that makes it go. We talked about it in the open. Dynamic runner that can do special things.
All he has to do is pick up a yard. Hard to do as Cade Molador is there to deny and stop. Holds him up, so it's going to bring up 4th and 1. Another look at it here.
Nowhere to go, so he just tries to go low and meets Molador in the hole. A great job by the Mike linebacker for the Aggies. Oh, they gave it to him.
A very favorable spot. I thought he held him short. However, the chain gang has reset.
You need to snap that.
And it's a first down.
Oh.
Wow. They didn't snap it in enough time.
The ruling on the field of a first down is under review.
So Gregory Edwards, the replay official, will take another look at it here, because in real time it looked like he was stopped, but again, based on where they spotted the ball, they said it was a first down. You see Trey Oliver there in the huddle with his group, and one of the great young coaches in this game. He's been around for 20+ years, played here. Another look at it. Does he drive? It looks like Molador stands him up and drives him back. And the initial spot there was just a yard short. So it was no gain on the play based on the far side judge.
No, he did not get to where they have the ball marked on the 39-yard line. Got to about the 38.5 if you're generous, but clearly from the angle we saw, did not make it to the 39-yard line. It'd be a good job by the replay officials if they get it right. And now, if you're Trey Oliver, you're thinking right now, okay, are we going to punt it if we're a half-yard short, or are we going to go for it? Get the offense together and let them know, hey, let's not come out and take a delay game after this ruling on the field is made.
Well, I got to say this, Jay.
The ruling on the field of the runner gaining the first down stands. First down, North Carolina Central.
Okay.
We're in Durham. We're in Durham. This game's been played neutral site past couple of years, and I think they got away with one there.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw exactly what they saw. So, 1st and 10. The Eagles, who have amassed 200 yards of total offense, more than 100 of them have come through the running game. They keep it on the ground. Jamari Taylor will cut back inside and brought down by Jabin Armstrong-Grady.
A little bit of gut check time right now for North Carolina A&T. Defensive coordinator Josh
Zeidenberg. Jay-Z. They say just call me Jay-Z.
You got to dial up something right now. Offense is struggling a little bit. You have a backup quarterback in the game now. Defense needs to step up and make a play for North Carolina A&T.
We see number 1, Karan Prunty in the passing game. And he's their go-to. And wow, laying out to make the catch. That's Luke Bracey. Bracey, who missed one in the end zone. The PAT attempt this time. Bracey says, I'm sure-handed. Let me show you just how sure-handed I am. 33 yards on the reception.
And Walker Harris threw this on the money. I mean, he didn't even need to dive for that ball. He possibly should have just stayed up, made the catch, and ran into the end zone. But what a throw from Harris to Bracey.
Cut back inside, and Molador once again on the tackle. And when we talked to Matt Leone, he said, well, hey, how would you describe Walker Harris? And, Jay, you always ask, well, can he throw the ball? He said, oh, yeah, No, he throws a great ball, and we have seen some beauties out of his hand tonight.
Playing in control. And I think they talked to him. They said, you know, when we played Elon, he pressed a little bit. Tried to be Davius Richard better or superior. And just play your game. You can make the throws. We don't ask you to run the ball like we asked Richard. We ask you to throw the ball.
Cut back inside and tripped up by number 25, Mac David II, the world linebacker for A&T. A good tackler. That's what the coaching staff said about him, because he's got that opportunity to use his leverage based on his size, 5'11", 240. So 3rd and 5.
Now throw the ball. The crowd in line of scrimmage trying to take Taylor away from you. You've got a trips formation up top with only 2 defenders. Somebody's going to come wide open.
With 4-5 on 3rd downs. And a little juke move by Jamari Taylor. Great balance. And boy, he was dancing along that sideline. Jamari Taylor thus far has been the player of the game. A little bit of everything. When they need yardage, they look for number 4 in gray.
Yeah, it was look out, because it's hard to make that tackle with that much open space. And look at the balance on the sideline, the tiptoe up the sideline to pick up additional yardage.
We're stopping the clock. I think we're being told they're going to review that last play.
The ruling on the field of a runner for a first down is under review.
We're 0 for 1 tonight. I'm not going 0 for 2. We saw the camera work there. That was great footwork by Taylor. Look at the shake right there.
And again, that was Karan Prunty, who we mentioned. He's one of the best defenders.
Look at that balance.
Still in.
You see green all the way. That is tremendous footwork.
Not even a question. I mean, it's a solid.
Right there, you can question that a little bit, but I'm going to say I still see green.
Yeah.
So you still see green. Backside, they're going to mark it there. But that was enough for the first down, so they'll put the ball on the 11-yard line possibly instead of the 6, but still great, tremendous balance. Tiptoe up the sideline. Great camera work as well by our crew.
Well, Trey Oliver, who has seen the shift of power flow in his direction since taking over his 5th season. Remember, they were MEAC champions back in 2022, and they capped off the season with the Cricket Celebration Bowl championship last year. They made it to the FCS playoffs with an at-large bid this year. They're the preseason favorites in the conference.
Yeah.
But they've got to try to knock off
the defending
champions, Howard University Bison.
And you almost get the feeling, you know, and we tell like this everywhere we go. So when Dion was at Jackson State, they were hot.
The ruling on the field of the runner being out at the 14 has been reversed. The runner actually went out of bounds at the 5-yard line. First down, North Carolina Central.
But we saw when Jackson State was probably the hottest HBCU out there for a while. We saw when North Carolina A&T was the hottest HBCU out there. And I'd say outside of right now, I mean, the hottest HBCU, and I won't be biased, is Howard University. Got a lot of things going for it, but Central has gotten hot. So some of that luster that A&T had, I think it's just gone down the road to Durham a little bit. North Carolina Central is a university that's on the rise, getting hot.
Absolutely. I mean, they've had the largest freshman class in 15 years. Their class of 2028. I mean, they're bringing in students and attracting with great business programs, among others. 1st and goal. Here's Taylor. And Taylor, who was driven backwards, but that first point of contact, that was Jaden Williams, the true freshman out of Richmond, was the first to greet him. Here's 2nd and goal. The shotgun, his hair is behind him. Jamari Taylor. And hand it off again, following behind number 51, AC McMore, and that's another touchdown for North Carolina Central.
This kid's vision is off the charts. His peripheral vision. The patience to set up that block. Watch this. Watch the patience. He's got to pull him, tackle, set him up, and then whoop, one cut. Let him get hands on it. And once he gets hands on him, then I'm going to make my cut. Younger back without the experience, he would have cut in there right away. But you have to set up the block. Tremendous vision by Jamari Taylor.
Well, we had a cute, or rather running back comparison on both sides, and right now it's Jamari Taylor who is stealing the show. His 2nd touchdown of the night, continuing to lift the Eagles. FCS level here, one of the top programs in FCS, North Carolina Central, who is currently in control and feeling good right now over their in-state rival North Carolina A&T. They were former foes in the MEAC before the Aggies departed. Trey Oliver, who knows that there's plenty of motivation. This game means so much to both of these fan bases. And Trey Oliver, who is always charged up and ready, said, look, this game is everything, and we've got to deliver. So after the kickoff, we'll step aside quickly here for a break. Come back with us. North Carolina Central royalty.
The green-eyed bandit.
Pee Wee Richard, who helped lead this program to some of its highest heights, and the former Black College Football Player of the Year, who's currently working on his master's after graduating summa cum laude, is loving what he's seeing thus far with this big lead for North Carolina Central.
Things get a little chippy on the perimeter, as you expect in a rivalry game, but good job by the official coming in and diffusing that situation with Jerry Caldwell and Isaiah Norris. But one thing we thought A&T would be able to do is run the ball a little bit more. And they just have not been. Look at them. Look at this. They're just being swallowed. That's a great individual effort.
There's Daniel Coles on the run. Albert Red brought him down. We talked in the open, Jay, right? We knew that they had a thunder and lightning combo. Here, Daniel Coles, a speedy freshman, gets the carry.
You know, and it goes back to Courtney Court, the defensive coordinator from North Carolina Central. From his days at North Carolina A&T, we're going to stop the run. He learned from Sam Washington. We're going to stop the run and make you one-dimensional. They're stopping the run, and A&T does not have an answer for him right now.
Bombi with plenty of time going underneath. Great open field tackle made. That's red once more. You talked about defensive coordinator Courtney Cord again. He was at A&T back when they won Celebration Bowl championships. Courtney Cord now over with Central. And you know, there is this like, how do you feel like if you coached in one place and now you're on the other side? Like, I wonder what's that like.
It's college football now. We've seen players do it. I mean, we've seen a guy star for Bethune-Cookman and then go over to FAMU and be an impact player. So if you go from North Carolina Central to A&T, you go from A&T back and forth, there's only so many opportunities. So if the kids can have a transfer portal, coaches have always had a portal.
Off the high bounce, and Marquell quick going to the right side and is brought down. And a flag coming out at the end of the play.
Now, if this is called for a blindside block, I'm going to disagree with it, because I saw the play developing and the blocker ran over with his hands up. So let's see. I don't want to speculate, but I think that's where the flag came from. It's all about player safety. But watch this. Number 37 will get hit. They both have their hands up, and just maybe because there was two of them that did it, but they were taught properly.
There's no foul for a legal blindside block.
Good job.
First down, North Carolina Central.
Well, this is a special day given the fact that Jay just said good job to the officials. We'll step aside here from Durham. Welcome back to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. Everyone is vying for that trophy if you're in the MEAC or the SWAC. And how about this group out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference? North Carolina Central, founded in 1910 by Dr. James E. Shepard. The enrollment continuing to increase under now newly named Chancellor Dr. Carrie Gibson Dixon. Among some of the notable alumni that have come through, Kim Coles was an actor and comedian. How about Maynard Jackson going through the NCCU School of Law? First black mayor in Atlanta. And of course, producing a coach who is continuing to etch his name in the books in Trey Oliver. You know, you saw those 4 HBCU national championships. This was a group that competed in Division II in the CIAA when he was a player. But he had success under Rod Broadway when he was a head coach. Oliver was on staff and was able to win 3 here, or be able to win with Broadway here, and then also North Carolina A&T.
Offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
And so, Jay, when you look at this game, I mean, it's been all North Carolina Central. There was an opening blow from A&T, but since then, Central has had big-time command.
They've been dominating. I mean, since that special teams opening kickoff return, A&T has done nothing defensively to stop them. Offensively, they've done nothing but get their quarterback put out of the game. And, you know, it's been very disappointing. And in this type of game, I mean, this is a rivalry game. You're not conference foes anymore, but you're in-state rivals. Like, this is the one you mark, like, can't lose that one. You can lose a game in the conference. But if you're North Carolina A&T, these chances you play against North Carolina Central, you've got to win them.
Jay, in our coaches' conversation this week, we asked, hey, Vincent Brown, what does this game mean to your Aggies? And we were surprised by the answer. We'll tell you what he said after this 3rd and 12 play from Central. Got Andrew Smith coming closer in. And just throwing it away is Walker Harris. And what he told us was that, hey, this is just another game. But to the fan base, it's so much more. This means everything. Were you surprised by that a little bit, or how did you take it?
It was coach speak. You know, it's coach speak, because if you ask Trey Oliver about this game, it's another game, but it's more.
No.
He says it's another game, but it's more. it's another game, but it's more. Vincent Brown said that it's a game, but to our fans, it's a whole lot more. So he acknowledged it that way. Does he understand what it's like, how intense a rivalry? Maybe not. He's still learning his program. But I think in that case, you know, Trey, who played in this, you know, he had to downplay how big this game was. I think over the years he's learned that. You disagree with me on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, because it means so much to the fan bases, and yes, maybe not having the full understanding of what this rivalry means, but you know, when coaches come into programs, they know that there is always one game on the schedule, no matter what school you're at, that you've got to win that game. You know, like you're a Howard alum, so the Hampton-Howard rivalry means a lot. I'm a Florida A&M alum, so Florida A&M Bethune-Cookman means everything, and there was some more fuel to the fire, though, that was added after last year.
Yeah, and I think
that's a great deep ball and brought in.
Nice
what a
throw.
catch by Jamison Warren, but yes, an even better throw, Jay, from Justin Fomby.
great job. I mean, this ball's thrown on the money, hits him right on the deuce. And that's what they brought him for. And A&T showing a little life here.
53-yard pickup on that one, and almost brought in by Javon Dillard. He had a beat on the inside and just couldn't haul it in.
And good read, and starting to see Justin Fomby, the quarterback, deliver a little swag, got a little better body language right now. Starting to feel like, okay, come on, guys, let's go. You know, I can do this if you give me the time. Last two plays have been his best two of the game so far.
Well, after that 53-yard reception to Jamison Warren, the guy who they like to go vertical, he's up on the sideline, a little shaken up, 2nd and 10. The carry by Wesley Graves, and Graves, who pushes the pile forward and carries some defenders with them, tripped up by Albert Red. And so Graves and Christian, we hadn't heard those names called a lot. 35, Wesley Graves, who's kind of that all-power back. They say run like the sledgehammer type runner. I don't know if I've ever heard a running back described in that manner.
I mean, you see the build from him right away. He goes north-south runner. You don't want him going sideways.
They've yet to convert on a 3rd down tonight. Here's an opportunity for them. From the 9, looking on the outside. And good defense as Jalen Bowden tried to interrupt that, and it's a flag on the far side.
Away from all the action, might have been an illegal formation.
Derek Hatton just waiting to get clarification. We'll await the call.
Ineligible receiver, downfield. Offense, number 3. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Surprised he declined it. Understand you don't want to give him another 3rd down, but 4th and 4 in a rivalry game, if I'm A&T, I'm going for it. In this situation here, you need 4 yards. At the very least, you come out try and draw them off sides.
Let's see what David Marsh elects to do here.
They look real unorganized. I get a timeout.
And 1 second left on the play clock.
Wow.
And I think they may have taken the timeout before the play clock expired.
North Carolina A&T. That is the first charge timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
So you said, Jay, this is a proud group out of Greensboro, North Carolina, founded in 1891, the largest HBCU in the country. They too have a new chancellor, and Dr. James R. Martin II. And among those notable alumni. Ronald McNair, the NASA astronaut, Reverend Jesse Jackson, the civil rights activist, and then the Greensboro Four, Ezell Blair Jr., Joseph McNeil, Franklin McCain, and David Richmond.
February 1.
That's right, playing that historic sit-in movement during the civil rights movement here on 4th and 4. And flags fly out.
This false start didn't kick the field goal.
Offense, number 68, 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
It's got to be frustrating for this coaching staff, given the fact that you just dialed up a play for an opportunity to potentially convert on this 4th down, and your leader, your captain, Cesar Monaro, with a mental miscue there. So it backs him up. And Andrew Brown, he is on to attempt the field goal. The 36-yarder is up, and it is through. So points on the board for North Carolina A&T after they put up 9 in the opening frame. Their first points of the second quarter. While we have this time,
what up,
Jay?
Tim? What you feeling like?
What's going on? I need you to hit me with Jay's Give Me 5.
All right, let's see if I got it right, Tip. These are the most heated rivalries, not the biggest, the most heated. A&T and Central, we started off the show. One school hates the other. Grambling Southern, probably the biggest rival we know about. How about Hampton Institute University versus Howard every year?
Petty.
I will say this as a Howard guy, Hampton's the one school that gets under my skin. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, we know that. And Bethune-Cookman, your alma mater, FAMU. And on the bubble, people don't know about it, Tuskegee can't stand Alabama State. That Turkey Day Classic is something special. That's Jay's Give Me 5 for the most heated rivalries. I would love to hear Tiff's 2 cents.
All right, yes, I'm definitely going to chime in. And the fact that we get a chance, we're slated to do that Turkey Day Classic in Montgomery, Alabama.
You see, being the true Howard guy I am, I have to put HU versus
that's why I called you Petty. That's why I said Petty.
Hampton Institute University. A little shot at my man Dr. Harvey there. I said it. But congratulations to Hampton as they beat Howard again. I don't even know if it's a rivalry anymore, like a one-sided relationship. Goodness. All right, Tiff.
Some chippiness on the field as what you would expect, but both teams retreating to their sidelines. So that allows me to, chime in with Tiff's 2 cents. I'm going to go to the Division II level and hit you up with the Fountain City Classic. That's between Fort Valley State and Albany State. That's always an excellent rivalry. I want to check it out one day. Maybe we could take our Black College Live show there. I'm not sure. And then the State Fair Classic, which is the biggest game for Prairie View A&M in terms of attendance historically against Grambling State, the HBCU traditional.
Played in Dallas every year. That's why it's State Fair Classic during the time of the State Fair. And usually always be 1 week before the Red River Shootout. Before Texas and Oklahoma would take over the stadium at the Cotton Bowl. Grambling and Prairie View have been doing it for years.
Flag on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's against Mac David, who has been active on defense here tonight. So after the penalty, that moves the ball now to the 43-yard line of Central. Working with just over 2 minutes to go in this first half.
And Central's going to try and get those 3 points back they just gave up to A&T with great field position.
Harris has a man and puts it there, but not able to bring it in is Miles Campbell.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
The 2-minute timeout, something new in college football this season. 1:57 on the clock. We'll step aside here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium. To ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's here from Durham, North Carolina. Just 46 miles between the two campuses. North Carolina A&T made the trip here for the first time since 2018. Currently, they're trailing by a lot here as Central on the move on 2nd and 10. Pass complete into the hands of Andrew Smith. So going to move quickly here. They've got all 3 timeouts remaining. Ball at the 50-yard line. Can they get 3 to keep the drive going? Yes, they find the big target. Joaquin Davis, the 6'4" wide receiver, to keep it going. The Durham native. I just love what he brings to the field. So continue on with hurry up. Ball on the 41 of A&T. Harris surveying underneath. There's the speedy Jamari Taylor. Yes, sir, indeed.
Oh, finish. That's how you finish.
Jamari Taylor continues to wow. We've talked about his vision.
Field as the ball carries out at the 2-yard line.
Oh,
First down.
They may have to take another look because remember, he was up. Yes, he did. He was dancing along the sideline.
Great play regardless, sneaking out of the backfield. I always say the great runners find ways to finish runs. He gets close to the sideline. He's going to turn his back because he knows he's close. He turns backwards.
Maybe
are his toes
right
out on the 2, maybe? Are the toes out?
Maybe. But I saw one of the officials on the field
of the ball carrier out at the 2-yard line.
Signal
is under review.
I saw the official near us to signal the touchdown.
Yeah,
right there.
Look at that stiff arm there. You got to look at the feet. Let's see. In.
Still in. I don't see anything to the contrary.
Still in.
Still in. And look at the effort to bring the ball across.
He knew where he was. I tell you, the great ones know how to sniff that end zone, that goal line. And what did they ruled it on the field?
That it was, he stepped out at the 2. So it's going to be tough to overturn. But Jay, again, one of the officials on the field did signal a touchdown. And just based on that, do you feel that's enough conclusive evidence to overturn the call? You see the body kind of shields right there, so you can't see where the foot is, but it doesn't appear.
That's close. I don't see enough there to overturn.
Okay.
I don't see enough there to overturn. You see a lot to say maybe, though. Not to overturn. There's a lot to say maybe. Whatever the case may be, it's almost like you're avoiding the inevitable. They're going to have the ball on the 2-yard line. And Jamari Taylor continue to be a problem.
I mean, one heck of an effort from Taylor. He's been fun to watch tonight.
Don't you like when you get it right? And we talked about it in the open, like the player that you keep an eye on is going to be Jamari Taylor. And if he can have a big night, this offense can. And he is delivered.
We got to feed the rock right back to him if indeed the call stands as is from the 2-yard line. He's in search of his 3rd touchdown of the night.
The ruling on the field of the ball carrier out at the 2-yard line stands. First down, North Carolina Central.
So they saw the same thing we saw. They couldn't confirm it. They just say the play stands. But you can tell he was not settling for just picking up yards. He saw the end zone. He wanted to score. Let's see if they reward him, as you hinted, by giving him the ball on this play.
I would demand it. You talk about the hot hand tonight. Jamari Taylor has been that. So that 39-yard effort from Taylor. And Walker Harris decides to go for it and into the end zone. So the QB sneak. And another touchdown for North Carolina Central. That's the first rushing touchdown of the season for Walker Harris.
Okay, yeah. Never really felt good about getting touchdowns on quarterback sneaks. Never really did. So thank goodness I had that attitude, because my fullback by the name of Rupert Grant, he benefited because he had 20 rushing touchdowns as a fullback. Great player though, so I didn't feel bad whenever he got it. But Walker Harris, you should go get that football and give it to Jamari. This is yours.
And that one blocked, the PAT block. How many have we seen tonight blocked on special team, either PAT or punts?
That would be the third time that contact's been made. So the special teams play's been a little sloppy. And this is just a great angle by Janaz Sumter.
Well, disappointing opening first half for North Carolina A&T fans who made the trip, and you see the goal which stands out along with the blue on the opposing sideline. And this is a group who's got a really tough slate. They've got a really tough slate coming up in the CAA, which is one of the top FCS conferences in college football.
You know, that's what you talked about, you know, the importance of this game, yes. But Vincent Brown, you know, didn't inherit the rivalry. He inherited getting his team ready for a CAA play. The decisions were made before he got there and how they got there, and they brought him there because he's had success coaching, you know, in some schools in the CAA. And I just don't know if the fan base ready for it. You know, as we talked about, if you're A&T, are you more excited about going up the road and getting a huge win versus a team like a Delaware or William & Mary compared to winning the game versus Central or Hampton? You know, you got to balance it out. You know, reminded me of when Rob Broadway was at Grambling and he won the SWAC, but he lost the Bayou Classic and the fans were upset.
Going step for step with Jakari Caldwell was Isaiah Norris, and a flag back in the A&T backfield. Did they get to Fomby?
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that's going to go against the 3-year starter, Christian Smith, number 91 in gray. Let's take another look at it here.
Put the hand on the face. You know, the hand goes to the face. You hit the quarterback in the head, they're going to more than likely target you. Now what you do, you make them pay for it. This is your quarterback mentality. Okay, we got a penalty. They helped us out here. What can I do to put some points on the board and make them pay for it?
Well, nice throw and catch to Amante Jones, and Jones, who they call Juice, gets the Aggies in Central Territory. 17-yard pickup. And Fomby going again with Caldwell, who's got a step. And there was a lot of contact there, but no flag comes out.
And we've seen that combination battle a little bit. Isaiah Norris against Caldwell. I mean, you get behind him in trail position like that, he's grabbing. He's all, I saw a lot. I've seen less call for pass interference many times. Does he hamper him from making this catch? I think absolutely. The Eagles got away with the penalty there, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Fomby looking to his right, and this time trying the right side with Dillard, and Javon Dillard, who was shielded by Jalen Bowden. And so now that brings up 3rd and 10 with 19 seconds remaining in the first half.
You don't need the home run ball, just with timeouts. In 19 seconds, you can get a deep completion, 15, 20-yard variety, and try and get a little run after catch. But I think North Carolina Central's okay letting you try and go for it deep. Now they're softening up their man coverage. You're going to see some type of quarter coverage where they're not letting anything get behind them.
Fomby feeling some pressure right in his space, lets it go, has an open man, and it's intercepted. Well, coming up to get that one was Bowden. Jalen Bowden saw that one hang in the air. And the INT just before the close of the first half.
They took away the deep ball from him, and that confused him a little bit. So now he started looking for a secondary, and the pressure was there. Good job not letting him step into the throw by the defensive front from North Carolina Central.
That's Donquarius Parker, number 94, who drove Fomby to the ground after getting in his face and bringing that pressure and helping to force the first turnover of the game tonight. And get this, Central will get the ball to start the second half.
Wow, that's even more heartbreaking for Aggie fans to hear. One of the most proud programs in HBCU football just got destroyed in the first half of this game against their in-state rival.
So here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, the second show is about to begin with the marching bands at halftime. We'll step aside. presented by McDonald's. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green here with you from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium at the intermission between North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central. The Aggies from Greensboro, North Carolina, currently under the spell of the Eagles here in the Bull City. 40-20 advantage for the home team. And Jay Walker, when you look at that first half, you use the word dominant. I don't think there's a better way to describe just how good Central looked, putting up a 40 spot through the first two quarters.
And we know that North Carolina Central is one of the best teams in HBCU football. They come in number 2 in my power rankings. But this is a rivalry game. And I thought the chance that A&T had was the fact that it is the rivalry game. They try to think they're big brother to the little brother there. They came out with a fantastic start. You thought this energy and momentum would say, hey, you know what? We're A&T and Central. We're going to go at it. But after that, it was all North Carolina Central. Walker Harris, the quarterback, looked cool, calm, and collected. And Jamari Taylor proved that he's the best running back on this field tonight for certain. One of the best in all of FCS football.
Well, you talked about Walker Harris, who found his rhythm, found 5 different receivers in the process, and then special teams was a key factor as well.
I mean, they blocked the punt. They made up for giving up the special teams return. And then the great vision there by Taylor to get into the end zone, to get to the increase the lead. And Taylor made a fantastic play prior to the quarterback sneak by Walker Harris. So every chance that Central had to step on the gas pedal and increase the lead, they took advantage of it. That's a sign of a well-coached team.
We see,
wow, 300.
Just about double the yards of North Carolina A&T, better than 300 yards of total offense in the first half.
Double the time of possession. A&T yet to convert on third down. Only 4 first downs in this game. I talk about being dominated. You give up 300 yards and a half. Oh, has to be frustrating. And go back to this. You know, we saw some Aggies, down in the press box talking, and they are like in shock. And you wonder, are they going to have the fight? There's a term called Aggie pride. That, they brainwash everybody, goes there, Aggie pride. Well, I need to see some Aggie pride in the second half if they're going to respond.
Very proud program, as you mentioned, Jay, but also they have built to be great under Trey Oliver. You see that on the helmet. And Walker Harris, who is running this year's edition of this Eagles squad on offense, has done a phenomenal job tonight. He's gotten help all the way around. You talked about Jamari Taylor. I'm going to call him JT Money. Second 120-plus yard game rushing, not only of the season, but of his career. 122 yards tonight.
He's been money.
He's been money, indeed. Walker Harris finds Markel Quick, who showed off his quickness earlier. And across midfield and into Aggie territory. Prior to that, there was 3 catches for 71 yards for Markel Quick.
They've seen this play before. They ran it in the first half. Stick seam or slant route, as you want to call them, and you allow Quick to get yards after the catch.
Yeah, he's got nearly 100 yards after the catch. I mean, just able to do stuff.
Nice catch.
How about Jamari Taylor? I mean, that's like sticky glue on his gloves. He goes down low, gets a tough ball, makes the completion. Only a couple of yards or a few yards there, but Jamari Taylor, who has just had himself a night all around.
Let me ask you this, tip. We talk about Aggie pride, right? Well, I'm starting to say, what's the opposite of Aggie pride, or what's better than Aggie pride?
Well, right now, tonight, it's Eagle pride amplified.
As they say around here, and the Eagles are amplified, and they're amplifying right now as they come out of the locker room in the second half.
Taylor again, the patient running, and the stick button hit there from number 21, and Taylor, who's slow to get up, but
that may be targeting. I mean, it was a big hit by the freshman, Trey Mittman, the local kid from Durham, 21. Watch, did he lower the helmet to come in? That used to be called a football play. I'm surprised they're not reviewing this. Pad level there, helmet contact, but he did not launch. So that's just a football play. And Taylor, hardest hit he's taken all night.
So he'll take a breather as Rogers out of the backfield, rather Mosley. And Joaquin Davis, who's been targeted a few times tonight. Joaquin Davis with the completion. He's got 3 catches tonight.
Crossing route. I mean, he's the guy.
Well, he scored a touchdown right on that crossing route.
That's his 3rd catch tonight, and all 3 have been crossing routes. Lines him up in the slot. He's the backup valve. So if Walker Harris gets enough time and the downfield throws aren't there, he knows that Davis is going to come underneath the coverage.
Taylor back into the ball game to the left of Harris. He rolls out underneath. And again, quickly there to deliver the tackle is Terrell Dudley.
You know, we talk about controlling the line of scrimmage. This offensive line, Harris has been calm, cool, collect. Look at the gray jerseys and watch the white jerseys where they end up when this ball is snapped. Get on the ground. Stay away from my court. That pocket is clean. That's a clean pocket. You give a quarterback that type of pocket, he's going to pick you apart. Another clean pocket.
Took a shot there, ball overthrown. And right there in his face was Grady.
I think it's really the guys, the interior lineman, Noah McKinney, the center, 62, and A.C. McMorr, number 51, who's a good one, who's been starting since he was a freshman, just a sophomore. But if you can keep your quarterback's legs clean in front of you, interiorly, I go back to like Tom Brady. One thing Tom Brady hated was people at his ankles. You can come anywhere but up the middle. And right now, the interior guys are not letting anybody come up the middle against Walker Harris.
What a catch. What a catch. We said that simultaneously. Partner Jinx as Joaquin Davis was slow to get up, but
that was to shut me up, Tiff. You said all I do is catch crossing routes, but that is a fantastic catch there. That's how you use your 6'4" frame. You talk about catch radius in today's college football world. That's tremendous catch radius. He was the only one that had a chance to bring that ball in for a big play.
Couple of 10-plus yard receptions for Joaquin Davis on this drive inside the red zone. This is where Central has been successful all season long. 10 of 10 in the red zone.
35-yard line.
So after that explanation from Derek Hatton, will step aside after the Central score. They'll kick it off when we return.
Going the right way for North Carolina Central, but Trey Oliver's not chancing anything. That's his starting center, Noah McKinney, who just got charged with a personal foul for the conduct. His assistant coach is right there next to him. I point this out because that's the 3rd time that I thought McKinney could have been flagged. He finally got flagged one. Although we're winning, you've got to learn. Play in between the whistles, sons. Good job of saying, hey, we're having a good time. We're winning this game, but certain things are not going to be tolerated. Stop making selfish plays.
Well, you always hear Trey Oliver talk about culture over scheme, buying into the culture, being a good teammate, caring about each other, and being a good person on and off the field. And we'll see more good out of him in making smart decisions. Here on the return, it's Laquan Vinay. And Vinay is brought down inside the 15-yard line. And so for all the things that's gone right for North Carolina Central, trying to notch their 2nd win of the season, and more importantly against a rival, the Aggies have not had the same fortune. Their starting quarterback, Kevin White, was knocked out of the ball game with a shoulder injury. The backup, Justin Fomby, who has come in. We've seen some flashes from him as he delivers the ball to Javon Dillard. Well, Dillard and Jakari Caldwell coming in at 23 catches for 239 yards, but tonight they've only combined for a catch apiece.
And the goal was, when we talked to the offensive coordinator, David Marsh, he said, I need to get Jerry Caldwell touches. I need to get him the touches. They've had the attempts. He's gotten by defenders, but has not had much of an impact in this game.
And we're seeing Shamik Blizzard as Quantez Mansfield takes him down. I'll say this, Jay, we featured two backs in the open for the Aggies, part of the strength of their team, and Kenji Christian, who was coming off of an injury from last week, and Wesley Graves. They've been held quiet tonight because the defense from Central has not made it easy on this Aggie offense. Now 3rd and 7, yet to convert tonight, 0 for 7. Can they get it here? They need to get to the 25-yard line. And spinning out and able to convert the first down. This great effort here from Dillard. Javon Dillard, who they believe is a future star, just a redshirt freshman in this program. Showed a nice glimpse there.
Yeah, with efforts like that, caught the ball well short of the first down. This is what Central wanted to do. Catch the ball short, but make the tackle. But 2 missed tackles there by Central defenders, and allows Dillard to keep the drive alive for North Carolina A&T.
Running up the middle again is Blizzard. So we've seen 4 different running backs tonight for the Aggies.
From the 32-yard line.
This group beating out of the Colonial Athletic Association. A&T on 2nd and 7. Got knocked down. That slowed them down for just a moment, and a few other great jerseys came around to get them, including Ja'Kai Brevard.
And they're just controlling that line of scrimmage, which is something that, that's a trademark for North Carolina Central. But you thought, as you mentioned, with A&T coming out of the physical CAA conference, it might have been a match, but I know that Trey Oliver has to be impressed with the job his defense has done. And they gave up the one explosive play deep, but besides that, this has been a clinic put on by the Eagles.
They converted their first 3rd down on this drive. Faced with 3rd and 8. Bombi looking, has a man, delivers it. Amonte Jones hauls it in. Malcolm Reed was on the coverage, and a couple of 3rd down conversions to keep it going. Here's a look at Jones.
Yeah, you don't see this too often. The far across the field out route. That ball was on the right hash. He threw it all the way across to the opposite sideline. It's one of those dinosaur plays where you just normally don't see the quarterback making that throw.
Quickly out of the hands into the hands of Ja'Kai Caldwell. And Caldwell is keeping it moving, as you see some momentum building for the Aggie offense.
And they've got about 2 more plays in which North Carolina Central is going to sit back and play soft and let them move the ball. Once they cross that 40, they're going to bring pressure.
Bombi with time rolls out to his right, looking down the field, and that one off the hands of Blizzard. Could have been intercepted. Fortunate for them, it wasn't. It's 2nd and 10.
And I'm looking at the dynamic of how this offense changed once White was knocked out of the game with Bombi. White was the guy who was a dual threat guy. Good passer, but better runner. And when you bring in Bombi, we're yet to see him run on a play like that previous play. Well, we know White probably would have cut up field and done some damage. Bombi more the pocket guy. The nice release. But I just don't think they were planning on using him in this game.
And Blizzard up the middle. Albert Red brings him down, but a nice run there from Blizzard. That's a pickup of 11, and they keep it moving.
Yeah, good job of finding some daylight, missed tackles by the defensive linemen. And now we're seeing North Carolina A&T with one of their best drives of the night.
Yeah, this is the best that they've moved the ball on the field tonight, Jay. One-on-one. There's Caldwell. That's a guy who they have targeted a few times tonight. They feel like he is their deep threat, but Jalen Bowden, who has an interception already tonight, with good coverage.
And that's a matchup. One thing about Central, they've got cornerbacks that are 6'1" in Marvin Reed. Then you go to Jalen Bowden, who's 6'2". So if they can have that matchup, you think that you eliminate that 50-50 ball. But still impressed how Caldwell's able to get behind defensive backs with his long stride.
Here on second down. Quickly out of the hands. And nice tackle after Anthony Rucker brought it in. That was Jalen Bowden. He just called his name on the coverage, and now coming up to make the hit.
I would be shocked if they don't dial up a blitz on this third down. Moving the DB over, all indications you're getting man-to-man coverage. Guys starting to creep a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. Going across formation, that's man-to-man. You only play man if you're going to bring that pressure. You got to know that quarterback.
Gets it away and incomplete. Dylan was the intended target. So fourth down upcoming, and the offense remaining on the field. It's 4th and 6. We've always talked about how crossing routes are often effective. And this
versus man-to-man. If they bring the pressure, you have to have the time to throw the ball.
Oh, man, wide open. That's Shamik Blizzard out of the backfield, and Blizzard inside the 5-yard line. He steps out of bounds or was popped near the 1. And so that's going to bring up 1st and goal, North Carolina A&T.
And on the previous play, they didn't account for Blizzard leaving the backfield. And a good job by offensive coordinator David Marsh dialing up the same play, realizing they're having coverage problems with the running back out of the backfield. Wide open on 2 plays. They were able to connect the second time.
You haven't seen Formby run until now. That's in for the score. A touchdown for Justin Formby. His first rushing TD of the season from 3 yards out.
Just call his own number. You have to think. They assumed that he was going to run the ball there. Good job of faking him out. Look at that. What do you think about halftime? The halftime band performances.
Well, you're looking at the blue and gold marching machine, the reigning Band of the Year champions. The inaugural Band of the Year competition took place the day before the Cricket Celebration Bowl. And so now you're seeing A&T trying to attempt this 2-point conversion.
Delay of game. Offense, number 4, 5-yard penalty, retry.
They just can't get out of their own way. They're going back 5 yards, still going for it. I don't understand this. I mean, this is a situation where you need to kick it. You're down by a lot either way. Just take a point.
Instead, they're putting in the hands of Formby, that one-on-one coverage on the outside. And again, they've tried to go to Campbell a number of times tonight. Haven't been able to connect much, and Jalen Bowden breaking up the pass here. McDonald's.
Been a festive night, a lot of festivities. That Aggie band's good as advertised.
Oh yeah, I mean like 300 strong, maybe even more. And when they got on the field, they were loud. We were grooving really on both sides.
Central,
the
yeah.
NCCU sound machine also did their thing.
Timeout, North Carolina Central. That's the first charge timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
I'll just say something like the build-up in this game, they used to call it the Aggie-Eagle Classic, and it felt electric in the stadium, in the tailgate area. And I know the local folks here in Durham love it even more when your football team puts on a show like this. And see, to me, that's the way it should be. See, football team gets busy, then the band can get proud. But it all starts with the football team. It all starts with the football team. The band, now y'all can get in. Yes, proud of that band there. They did a good job. But
could they be in Atlanta for the Band of the Year competition? They hope to be in Atlanta one way or another, as this North Carolina Central team favorites out of the MEAC in the preseason. There's going to be an important game in the month of November against the defending champion, Howard Bison. So an onside kick here from A&T, and it didn't travel the 10 yards necessary.
see, that is going to upset Trey Oliver. You go for onside kick in this type of game here, and I'm thinking about, running the clock out, moving on.
As it trailed out of bounds, let's hear the call from Derek Hatton. As also, there were a few things, Jay, that didn't necessarily sit well with Trey Oliver after last year's victory over North Carolina A&T.
Offsides, kicking team, number 3. That penalty's declined. Kick out of bounds, kicking team. That penalty is enforced 5 yards from the spot, an out of bounds spot.
5:11 on the clock remaining. We'll step aside here from Durham. The night after that failed onside kick attempt, they are in A&T territory. Ball on the 41-yard line. That's where they'll start this drive. Walker Harris tonight, 15 of 19 for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. He drops back to pass. Looking across the middle, that's been there a couple of times tonight. This one incomplete. Chauncey Spikes was the intended receiver.
Yeah, stepping on the gas pedal there. The onside kick comes. Okay, we're going to do that. Well, I'm going to start throwing the football some more. Walker Harris missed an opportunity to throw a strike there, but one of the few misses he's had on the evening. He's had a fantastic football game, and really give credit to that offensive line up front. His jersey stayed pretty clean all night.
Low snap handled. Christian Mosley, who shakes a couple of tacklers and picks up the first down after that run. We saw the effectiveness of Jamari Taylor earlier in this game. 126 yards and 2 scores. Now Christian Mosley stays in the backfield. From the Aggie 25, the pitch out to Mosley, looking for a little bit of space. It kind of runs into his tight end, Kyle Morgan, as Aaron Harris was in on the stop. Harris, who had that kickoff return for a touchdown to open this ball game, and one of the defensive captains for North Carolina A&T. Well, Jay, you kind of talked about just how these teams who don't like each other. Rivalry started back in 1922. Hour down the road on I-40 separates these schools in North Carolina. Missed opportunity in and out of the hands as Mosley was trying to run before he caught it.
Got to take a little momentum off that pass. Threw the ball with a little too many RPMs. Running back coming out the backfield, he's only 8 yards from you. I think that's one where you give him more of a catchable ball, he can catch and run with it after that catch.
On 3rd and 12 here, so can and Central take advantage of this field position, or can A&T's defense come up with a stop?
One thing we haven't seen them do is a lot of blitzing for North Carolina A&T.
You talk about the blitzing, and there's the pressure coming from Joshua Hardy with the sack. First of the night. You talked about how Walker Harris has been unblemished, standing upright in the pocket all game long, but here Hardy is able to get to him.
Yeah, just a 4-man rush, but with a little twist. You can tell they had linemen who didn't know who to block. The center's going unblocked, doesn't see the rest that Harris is under. And the Aggies finally get some pressure.
Hardy, who is known for his pass rushing prowess for the Aggies, is forcing a punt for Central. See if Velarde can pin A&T. And so fair catches. Instead of Harris letting it go over his head, he fair catches the ball
on the 3-yard line.
On the 3-yard line.
Oh, you got to move out the way and just let the ball go into the end zone and take a chance. See, special teams coach Charles Bankin's looking at him like, why did you catch that? One of those days for the Aggies. We know that North Carolina Central likes to get aggressive when you're backed up inside your own 5-yard line. The defensive line comes to life.
Watch out for number 10 in gray on the interior, Jaden Taylor. His first game of the season as they hand it off. It's Blizzard and Max Urin, the brains and glue of that defensive unit, with the tackle.
How about the job Blizzard's done? He's come in and we really talked about Christian and Graves, but Blizzard's been the most effective of the running backs. More the little speed guy, scat back type, just 5'8", 190 pounds, but he's giving them a spark.
Yeah, he's got the most carries of all the ball carriers tonight for A&T. They give it to him again. And this time, tackle and stop after a gain of a few more. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 after that tackle from Ja'Kai Brevard. Blizzard, we mentioned, a sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia, coming into tonight's game. He had only had 4 carries for 6 yards. And he's got 6 carries tonight for 17 yards in this game. The 3rd down defense has held up for NCCU. Underneath, the pass complete. Fumble. And the ball is on the ground. Fumble picked up by Malcolm Reed. And Malcolm Reed with the scoop and score. So Nicholas Dobson coughs up the football. And then Malcolm Reed, opportunistic on that defense, picks it up off the turf and takes it in.
Well, you know, the defensive scheme was, okay, we'll drop back deep, make him get rid of the ball short, and then come up and tackle. Urin misses, but then you got lowering the shoulder on the boom. Nothing good can happen when the defense wants you to throw short, and you throw short, and they come up and just tee off on the ball carrier with their back turned to the incoming defensive backs. And that was textbook defense. I mean, ideally you want Uren to make that tackle, but you can tell they were anticipating that they were going to throw it short. They dropped back. They baited the quarterback into taking a simple little check down or short throw. They'll come up and try and just put the boom on the receiver.
Flag comes out before the snap.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Retry.
How about McKinney, who is enjoying the in-game in-stadium DJ?
Oh, he's one of the best in the biz. we talk about the DJ every time we come here. He knows how to play the right jam.
Well, Jay, there are so many ties on the football field tonight, and 53 points, the most scored by Central in this series. Again, we go back to this rivalry started in 1922. And while A&T has had the overall advantage, Central, who has notched a win the last couple of years, and well on their way to potentially another victory. With your back turn walking with Williams, that's Tony McCray, the coach in the black, who played for North Carolina A&T, won in that 2015 Celebration Bowl, while Trey Oliver was on staff there under their head coach, Rod Broadway. We talked about defensive coordinator Courtney Cord as well, was a part of that Aggie staff.
Yeah, I mean, how about this? I mean, Trey Oliver played here, and now he's the head coach. Skip Perkins, the athletic director, played here as a tennis player, but he's an Eagle through and through. So these Eagles, if we talk about how much they don't like North Carolina A&T, they're having a good time tonight taking this all in.
And Harris muffs it for just a second, able to pick it up, and is wrapped up and brought down. And then, as we just mentioned, Courtney Cord, defensive coordinator, who is also in Greensboro for a stint.
I always say Courtney Cord, a little vertically challenged, but that bass in the voice is not.
Yeah,
he's got a
he
deep,
goes down deep like this. And I don't want to not do him any justice.
I didn't know your voice would drop that low, but he's a baritone, that's for sure.
Yeah. And his attitude, I mean, takes that this defense takes on his personality. He's got that toughness, that grit, and it all goes back to wanting to stop the run. That was a focal point coming into tonight, especially with two feature backs for the Aggies. And they held them at bay for sure. Running out of the pocket and giving chase. Gets the ball away in time. Up for grabs and intercepted. Well, a dangerous throw made by Fomby, who leaves it up. Cameron Williams comes up with the INT. Meanwhile, Fomby slow to get up. And he was on the run for his life. We already saw Kevin White go down with an injury in this one, and now Fomby gifts the defense for Central.
I mean, Fomby's an experienced player. I mean, he's a graduate student. You have to protect the ball. He just threw the ball up for grabs. You can't do that. You're out of here. Just throw the ball out of bounds. And this two interceptions tonight have come on plays like this. All right, you get outside the pocket. He's got to beat on you. Just get rid of it. I mean, threw it up for grabs in the middle of play. Just can't do that. Good job of pursuit. That by Lavelle.
Yeah, Matt Lavelle. Lavelle, who was listed as a tight end on the roster, but found himself on the defensive side of the ball. And now Central gets it back again. Now new quarterback in, but same play down the seam, and another touchdown. One play, one shot, 54 yards later, and it's a touchdown.
Got a quarterback controversy.
Well, how about Mekhi Wall, who came into the ball game, first pass he's seen tonight.
What about Javian Martin? Give it up to the quarterback for Martin. Come on now. Quarterback comes in off the bench and throws a strike. As you see it here, that play's been open in the middle. Nice tight spiral, good execution by the offense. I like how he gave it up to the wide receiver, but come on, Tiff.
Look.
I was an NFL backup quarterback. Backups come in and do damage. I'm going to give them props, okay?
We're going to give them their props. But guess what? Because it's a leader on offense, they touch the ball every time. So we're going to have plenty of time to talk about Javian Martin because they consider him.
Offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, retry.
They consider him to be the future. I mean, we've already heard some comparisons to Davius Richard when he was a freshman, and Martin has a similar, or fits that similar mold.
But I'll tell you what, that was a nice tight spiral. He stepped into it and let it go accurately.
This one off the left upright, bounces out. And so the extra point attempt is no good. Some challenges tonight there on the PAT, but Mekhi Wall and Javian Martin having a conversation afterward. And the flag comes out afterward. That one hit the post. So it's a dead ball, even though a player tried to pick it up and run. And then afterward, we were talking so much about Martin. But in the process of it, there's a flag sitting at the 23-yard line.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 62, removing his helmet during the play. That is his second unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 62 is ejected from the contest. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
You already said that Noah McKinney was on thin ice after some plays in that first half where he picked up a personal foul. Then Trey Oliver, his head coach, goes over and talks to him. You came back from break and said, hey, this is a good teaching moment, but the emotions too great for McKinney, and he's out of the ball game.
He needs to watch it. I mean, they'll watch the stuff on film, and you'll hear from the conference office, hey, Coach Oliver, hey, I warned you. And, you know, that's just something that can't do it. We know it's an emotional game out here.
So the starting center, a 3-year veteran who was at the position and a leader on this defense, has been ejected from this game.
What'd you say the most points scored in this rivalry was? 53?
Yeah.
59 and growing. And
picks it up off the turf on the return. And a great tackle there to slow down and stop Cortez Lane. Jay, if you just go back and just giving perspective on these two programs in the more present day, right? You've heard the names thrown around often. It was Rod Broadway at the time who won the inaugural Cricket Celebration Bowl. Remember that player by the name of Tariq Cohen?
Oh, you think I don't? One of the greats.
Of the most outstanding players that I've seen play college football live in the HBCU space, as we have new quarterback Braxton Thomas, the true freshman out of Sarasota. We saw Crombie was dinged up on that last drive as Blizzard with the carry. You think about the number of players and the Brandon Parkers and such that were placed into the NFL. So you win a couple of Celebration Bowl championships. Then Sam Washington, who was a longtime assistant, takes the reins. There's a couple more. But then we saw, after the transition out of the MEAC, it moved over, and North Carolina Central was able to assume the mantle in 2022. As Thomas takes a shot as he goes down.
You know, and I think, would I ever think I would see this rivalry kind of get this one-sided this quickly? I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, when Ingrid Wickham McCree hired Trey Oliver, she hired him for a reason. And after a tough first year, he's got this ship going in the right direction. Having been at A&T, he knows how to recruit against A&T, some of the weaknesses, and to identify his program. But for the Aggie fans and faithful, I'll say this. It's tough for me to watch them take this loss like this.
Of the third
I'm a fan of
quarter.
HBCU football, so I can imagine what it's be like in Aggie land right now.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter, with it all being in Central's favor. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's on the campus of North Carolina Central University. This is a whooping right now that Central is putting on their in-state rival A&T, as the pass complete from Braxton Thomas to Javon Dillard. And we have seen 3 different quarterbacks tonight for the Aggies. The first 2 were knocked out. First, Kevin White and Justin Fomby back in that third quarter as Thomas throws it away.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 17 was out of the tackle box, and number 5 was in the area. Second down.
So we mentioned Kevin White, who went out of the ball game in the first half. You see that left arm in a sling. He had ice on it earlier, as Quantez Mansfield, who delivered a big hit from behind. Thomas was sandwiched between 2 defenders. Coming in among them was Donquarius Parker.
Look how quickly they close, and this is what the freshman Thomas has to learn. Really can't outrun these guys. In high school, you can outrun linemen, but took an unnecessary shot right there. Think about it, he only gained like a yard for it.
Yeah.
Just throw it away.
We're seeing some of the backups now for Central. Ryan Ziegler, number 49 in gray, who was also in on that play. That's going to bring up 4th down. Jay, I've got to ask the question, just from what you've seen in the eye test, there was a lot of conversation regarding, who was going to be the preseason favorite amongst the pollsters within the conference. And this North Carolina Central team has certainly looked good, given the early season predictions, as it's 4th and 8 for the Aggies. Underneath, there's Blizzard. Blizzard, who has come in, as you mentioned, Jay, done a really nice job out of the backfield to extend the drive. But North Carolina Central, you see them 59 points already put up tonight. They are the preseason favorites over the defending MEAC champions, but you also have Morgan State, South Carolina State in the mix as well.
I mean, this will be the most competitive season of MEAC football, I believe. Now, of that, with that being said, the one team I think that could dominate the conference would be North Carolina Central. I mean, after seeing what they bring to the table, I mean, hard for me to imagine Howard coming down here and beating this team, because they play here in Durham this year. And then we know that Morgan State's much more competitive, though South Carolina State seems to be doing some things earlier. But the team to me that meets the eye test, that's got the best win of the HBCU football season so far, when they went down there and beat Alabama State as North Carolina Central. They take on A&T, and I mean, they are destroying the team from the Coastal Athletic Conference. So right now, they're clicking. They're clicking.
Braxton Thomas being pressured, and he's dragged down to the ground. And that's Mekhi McCall, who takes him down on the turf.
Ragdoll tackle. You don't see these too often nowadays, where You chase him down, then because of this play, he's able to swing him. They call him ragdoll him with the bam. Oh, that hurt me. That hurts to see, but great pursuit, and Thomas has to learn these speed rushers on the edge. They're D linemen, but a lot of them are great athletes and hybrid linebackers.
Yeah, Mekhi McCall was a former DB that turned into a defensive lineman, just kept adding weight, was able to add about 30, 40 pounds to his frame. So he takes the play off, 2nd and 16. Again, holding on to it. Can't feel the pressure from behind, and another sack. A number of gray jerseys swarmed in, among them Quantez Mansfield. He's just big, he's athletic, he's strong, Jay.
Yeah, and this D-line just gets after it. You know, that being said, we talked about Courtney Cord earlier. He's one of the guys I say he's next for a head coaching job. I mean, proven winner, wherever he is, his defense is not only win, they dominate. So when you talk about that next generation of coaching, young, energetic, kind of has that it with him. I think his name.
The ruling on the field of the runner down is under review. Replay is reviewed and determined that the runner was down at the 30-yard line.
I thought I saw that too. It looked like he slipped a little bit. And this is college football. If you slip and your knee touches the ground, the play is over with. During this drop, like he lost his footing, knee went down. He's down.
And then just has to incur a little bit more of a tag from.
Hand the ball off. Call a draw play. Hand the ball off. I mean, at this point, this young kid, he thinks he can outrun everybody, but you know he's going to take hits and you're going to get a first down. But he just got lit up in a game that you're not going to win.
And you see that hit as it was Braxton Thomas who gave his body up to slide, and then you saw that hit, and it looked like it was a targeting. Let's see who in fact did hit him, and you hate to see this. We've already seen a couple of quarterbacks go down. Vincent Brown coming on to the field to check on his young quarterback. Well, Braxton Thomas, the true freshman, able to get up and walk off on the sideline, as it has been a rough night for the A&T
after review,
quarterbacks.
Replay has determined that there was no targeting. The targeting foul has been reversed. We will enforce a late hit on the runner. Half the distance to the goal. First down, North Carolina A&T.
So back in the tent, let's not look at it here. Jay, I felt like when you look at the indicators for targeting, it was a defensive player. He launched.
For North Carolina Central, they'll take that because had the targeting been enforced.
North Carolina Central, number 7, may remain in the game.
So you heard that Cole Jones can stay in the game, but more importantly, he can play, doesn't have to sit out the first half of next week's game in Indianapolis versus Norfolk State.
That Circle City Classic will be there as well. Well, Justin Formby, who we saw got knocked out earlier, is back into the ball game at quarterback. And Jay, you mentioned at this point trying to keep the ball on the ground. They're still throwing it.
And they're going to keep sending pressure. I mean, this defensive line for North Carolina Central, that's what they do. They hunt after quarterbacks. And they've been winning the line of scrimmage. And you almost feel like if you're a quarterback for North Carolina A&T going in the game, jump on your lineman. Get in their face a little bit. Like, hey, stop. You've seen 3 quarterbacks get hit. Now I'm back in the game like, hey, man up.
Blizzard on the carry. An inside run. let's credit the officials too, Jay. I mean, given the fact that this is a rivalry game, and sometimes when things get out of hand on the scoreboard, things can be all the more chippy on the field based on frustration. But they've kept the flow of the game going, and to a certain degree, I mean, it's been a pretty good ball game in terms of emotion. Some silly mistakes there as that was dropped. Could have been a touchdown for Jakari Caldwell.
Look at that. I mean, that's a competitor in you right there. Braxton Thomas with a freshman trying to say, hey, can I go back in? But on this play right here, 4th down, they're going to elect to keep Farmby out there. But you like the fact that he took the hit, got the helmet on, and wants to come back in and compete.
Going forward here on 4th and 5. Looking to his left,
Nice
underneath
play
the setup.
design.
A nice play design indeed. And the ball
Short.
pops out from George. Coming back down the sideline the other way on the return. Getting some space, finding blockers. And here he goes. Tamadri Braxton for the touchdown, but there's a flag back at the 45. Wow, the ball was jarred loose out of the hands of Joshua George, who would have scored the touchdown instead.
I think there'd be a couple things. I don't think it was a fumble. Initially, I didn't think it was a fumble. I thought he was down, but they elected to let it play out. Then replay will determine that if it was a fumble or not. And pretty hard for me to think with a play like that going 99 yards, there wasn't some type of sideline interference from where that penalty came behind the play.
After the fumble recovery and during the return, personal foul, illegal low block, intercepting team, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down, North Carolina Central.
Let's take a look first to see if we think this is a fumble. I thought he was airborne and down on the ground, and then the ball came loose right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that ball came up quick, though. Like he didn't have a firm grip on it. But
the ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by the defense is under review.
Yeah, that's not a fumble.
No.
I mean, the elbow ends the play there.
Right at the 1-yard line.
Was that enough yardage for a 1st down? There was a 4th down play. Was it 4th and goal, or it might have been 4th and 5?
It was 4th and 5. It was 4th and 5.
So that happened on the 1. So, yep. And you see the 1st down marker right there on the 1-yard line. So he got just enough yardage for the 1st down, barely. But I think the fumble will be overturned.
You see his elbow is down right there. And then the ball comes out. There's a lot for Gregory Edwards, the replay official, to sort through here with Derek Haddon, but didn't take very long, and we'll hear from our head referee.
After review, replay is determined that the runner was down at the half-yard line. The personal foul for illegal block below the waist will be enforced as a dead ball, half the distance to the goal. 1st down, North Carolina A&T.
And that looks, you know what? The score is 59-18 in favor of North Carolina Central. And yet Trey Oliver, his expressions would make you think differently.
Yeah. But here's one of the things, like you almost wish if the official blows the whistle that it's not a fumble, then there's not a 15-yard penalty. In this case, it's half just to the goal. We're nitpicking, but situations like that where you kind of wish, be decisive with the call, and then they can always go back to replay and say it was a fumble.
So an opportunity for A&T to punch it in, and able to do so, and Shamik Blizzard, who has been their best offensive weapon in this second half, with the score. Blizzard scores the first points of this fourth quarter for A&T. And Blizzard with his first rushing touchdown of the season. Punched it in from 1 yard out.
That had to be the most lackluster fight song performance I've heard in a long time. the cheerleaders barely wanted to move.
Well, Jay, honestly, that was a 15-yard drive. That was a good drive that they put together. I'm sure Aggie fans wish they would have had a lot more of that earlier in the game. Depending upon when you tuned in, it's been a drubbing in a sense by North Carolina Central. And coming back to being a little bit more respectable as the two-point conversion is no good. .15 remaining, and this one from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium, Quebec Wings.
ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's.
Campus statue of James Edward Shepard, American pharmacist, civil servant, and educator, and credited as founder of North Carolina Central University here in Durham, North Carolina.
Is there a president, any other president around that's more revered by like the alum of the school than a guy like Shepard? Like, I know folks with the Central, they know who he is.
Like Alabama A&M, William Hooper Council was a former enslaved man who founded Alabama A&M.
They give him all the props. Booker T.
Washington, Tuskegee.
Yeah. The love for Shepard is here.
It's real.
And you realize how many years he was here. It's like, okay, he basically built this place brick by brick. But Mary McLeod Bethune.
Yes. And they hold and carry the picture of Mary McLeod Bethune on the legacy wall. It was something that was started.
On the field, recovery by the receiving team. First down, North Carolina Central.
See, this time it goes 10 yards, and that's out basket. That's a successful onside kick. And hey, they're down 25 points. So the thing about it, that's still 4 possessions. So maybe if they had got the 2-point conversion, they would have had a chance at maybe stealing something, but trying to sneak a competitive game out of this one. But now you're down by 4 possessions. You got to have the ball 4 times, and they got it once.
Correction.
I'm sorry. It's 35
ball recovered by the
points.
kicking team. North Carolina A&T. First down.
Sorry about that. This is getting late.
Oh, that's your Howard man. It's your Howard man?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Bison took a loss, so I take a loss. So I'll take that coming from a Florida A&M Rattler. However, Howard is winning, is being named the #1 historically black college and university in the world.
Kudos to the Bison. Braxton Thomas back in the game, takes a shot, and the closest player was Eric Adams for North Carolina Central.
Okay, let's. So you're down 35 now. Sorry, at that point, you're down 35, and you're really throwing the ball. And you've had 3 quarterbacks leave this game at some point.
Jay, let's listen in to the reigning National Band of the Year.
They shouldn't be playing.
what they do. And high snap over the head, and Blizzard wisely corrals it and goes down to the front tier.
I just say they shouldn't be playing because it's like, known within in HBCU football, the bands have to know the rules. So when your offense has the ball, you shouldn't play. So like while A&T has the ball, Central Band cannot play. Normally that's what happens, but A&T's band wants to play while they have the ball.
Well, oftentimes there's a conversation between the coach and the band director to sort those things out. And normally you would hear them kind of playing underneath for a little bit and then raising the volume once the snap is made. But that was a quick little punch. The OJ's backstabbers, they were like, da, 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 in the middle of the field, and the pass is complete to Thomas Brown.
Now, I will say this. I mean, that A&T band, it's big. That's been the most improved band I've seen in quite some time. I don't remember them from their days when they were in the MEAC having a band that big, that clean, and good enough to be considered band of the year.
Now, you see what happens on the other side, right? See, the battle of the bands is already beginning in the stands. There's something called the fifth quarter to educate you, if you don't know, within the HBCU space. But now there's going to be a challenge back and forth. They usually save it to the fifth quarter, but NCCU Sound Machine says they want to answer with their own version. Pass intercepted and into the hands of the Eagles. A number of backups in, as we mentioned, for NCCU. And that was Makai Bigelow. So it's been all North Carolina Central. Another turnover, number 4 for the Eagles. They look to capitalize. Started by the parents of Trey Oliver, Colin, and Evelyn Oliver, 2 NCCU grads as well. 37 years of teaching experience as ESPN Sports, the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers Week each year to celebrate great teachers across the country who have inspired so many of us. Nominate a great teacher in your community by visiting cfpfoundation.org. Well, they laid the blueprint for Trey Oliver here at North Carolina Central, and the success they have seen their son have over the years has been impressive, and he absolutely credits their leadership and their example for his success. And they are proudly in the stands every game, and especially on home games. They got their seats. They want to see their baby.
You say great job, Mom and Dad.
Yes.
I mean, great job well done. And Coach Oliver's not just a good football coach, good person. Stand-up guy, quality, no nonsense, but still funny at the same time.
Oh, he has us rolling on the coaches' calls. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fodder going back and forth, oftentimes between you and Trey. He says, "Look, I just speak facts." He says, when you try to come in with some jabs, he's like, "I'm coming back and I'm speaking facts."
That's what he does, try to do that, but some of those facts are a little distorted, but that's okay.
Not sure where that one was going off the hands. It sails off from Javion Martin. But you talk about when he took over in 2019, it was a 4-8 record, a losing year for the Eagles. And since then, all they have done is turn around to win. So a 6-5 record overall. And again, 4-1 in the MEAC the last 3 years, including that special 2022 season, being named MEAC and HBCU champions.
Let's not forget the past 2 seasons, they've been ranked in the top 25 in all of FCS football as well. Postseason appearances in the last 2 seasons. And right now, this team right here, they look like they won a third.
But I think, Jay, when you think about the success that they have had against other FCS programs, right? Elon, Campbell, last season, they were able to knock off ranked opponents. And they're looking for that again this year. And then don't let that last weekend score deceive you against North Carolina. Okay, it then became lopsided in the fourth quarter, but it was close. It was 17-10 through most of the third quarter.
Yes.
Walker Harris got knocked out of the ball game, and obviously things change, but this is a group that will fight always to the last whistle. And even in talking with A&T coaches, you know, they credited them for just being disciplined, good tacklers, just playing assignment football, and just you can see the aggressiveness much like that of their head coach.
Right now, I think the pollsters might have gotten it right when they selected North Carolina Central to win the MEAC championship. Good-looking team, but, you know, got to get healthy. As we talked about, it would be a very competitive MEAC football season.
When you talked about South Carolina State, Chennis Berry taking over for the legendary Buddy Pugh. He comes over after having success on the D2 level at Benedict College to lead the Bulldogs. Can he make noise? Hey, Damon Wilson has been doing that for the last couple of seasons at Morgan State. Is this their year to challenge and vie for that title?
Yeah, and I mean, the Bears continue to win non-conference games. Last year they beat Richmond and Towson there. They just kind of fell apart there. I think the story for Morgan State's going to be, can they find some offense? Defensively, they've been able to really compete.
After the run, that's going to bring up fourth down for North Carolina A&T. And then you talk about Larry Scott and the Howard University Bison.
Man, we just lost to Hampton. I'm sorry.
Get out your feelings right now. Jay, get out your feelings right now.
No comment right now. No comment. I mean, there is no other school that gets under the skin of Howard University more than Hampton. And so that's a tough one. But the football team should be good. I mean, even though they can't beat Hampton. But this physical team, they've got some guys. I mean, they've got some dudes, particularly on defense. Kenny Gallup, that defensive player of the year, preseason. He's a good one, elected to stay, so a lot of respect for him. They've got great running backs.
Markel Quick making it interesting.
Then let's think about it. We saw Norfolk State. I mean, battle against Florida A&M. And Florida A&M managed to get the victory. You know, we saw South Carolina State, which wasn't that good a football team last year, battle against Florida A&M, even though Florida A&M got the victory. And that's why I still give credit to the Rattlers, reigning HBCU national champions. They have not looked great yet, but they've won football games. Found a way to pull it out.
So a new quarterback in for North Carolina Central. That's Josh Jones. And so getting some important time on the field for some of the backups. Eleni Maggio, the running back. Eleni is a newcomer to this group, hard-nosed kind of football runner. Coaches say his running style reminds you that of Mookie Collier. Under 5 minutes to go. 2nd and 7 here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium. Here's Maggio again, driven back. Now is Rashad Purnell on the tackle. And we talk so much about Central, but on the flip side for North Carolina A&T, okay, what's the outlook for Vincent Brown's group?
I mean, finding identity. I think the key is going to be the quarterback. I think they would like to have a dual threat guy that can run first, pass second, you know, mix it up a little bit. Obviously, you want that 50-50 ratio. Wow.
He swung back and down as the helmet comes off for Joshua Jones. And that was Henry Daniel who was responsible for that.
Just unblocked, and that's a scary part when you're the third string quarterback and you've got sometimes your scout team line out there, you're going to get hit a little bit more.
Cleared catch by Monte Jones. Well, there is a flag on the field.
Personal foul. Leaping on the defense. Number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Wow. Good time to remind everybody of the HBCU power rankings according to Jay Walker.
Doesn't that seem a little like you're antagonizing me a little bit with the according to Jay Walker? I mean, I get this right most of the time. Right?
You're very, you know what, Jay? I'm going to say this on air. One, it says according to Jay Walker.
Yeah.
Right. But you do a really good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I missed on the Bison. I mean, you know, Howard.
I mean, why would you not go with the Bison? They're the defending MEAC champs.
Looks like Jackson State is struggling right now with Grambling, so they're in trouble.
And then I think Florida A&M was on the losing side, down to Troy.
But you know what I really have to ask myself when I do my rankings for next season is like, do I go with the records or do I go with my eyes tell me? My eyes tell me North Carolina Central is the best team in the country right now. Won't make fans in Tallahassee saying that, but I don't make fans in Tallahassee anyway. But you've seen it.
The question is, do you make fans anywhere that you go? No matter where you want. Man, come on, Jay. Call it right. Call it fair.
It's Jay's give me 5, but you've seen it. I mean, would you kind of have my back a little bit if I said I think North Carolina Central is the best football team in HBCU football right now that we've seen?
all around team. Yes.
And the power rankings out there.
From what I've seen on display tonight and how well they played last weekend despite the result and what I saw in Miami, yes.
Yeah. Miami and dominating this team right here.
Yeah. What I give credit to Florida A&M about after this call.
Holding. Offense. Number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Is that they seem to play well with their backs against the wall. They find a way to win. We saw that in week 0 at the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, and then again the following weekend when they hosted South Carolina State.
Yes, they find a way. I mean, that's been their past couple years. I'll say that when Willie Simmons was there, they had a couple games they could have lost, and they came back and fought. You got to put the Rattlers away. I'll give them credit.
Under 2 minutes in this one, and the 2-minute timeout is in effect here, so we will step aside. And the Eagles have been taking it to their rival, North Carolina A&T. Backup quarterback Joshua Jones delivers it. And in for the score, the touchdown from Maggio. So the Eagles keep on tacking on the points.
We talked about during the break, did we think they were going to score again or take a knee or anything? And because of those onside kicks earlier, I had that feeling that didn't sit well with Coach Oliver. So come in, bring in a third-string quarterback, but let him throw and increase the lead to 41 points.
Yay! Kick out, go Jay. Well, let's take a look at the remaining schedule for NCCU. Next weekend, we mentioned we will be with the Eagles once again, this time in Indianapolis for the Circle City Classic as they take on Norfolk State. Then Campbell, again, the team they beat last season, Morgan State, South Carolina State, Howard. That's an important stretch of play within the MEAC and highlighted by, I don't know which one is bigger, Jay. Obviously, everyone is looking forward to that November 15th date, but you cannot look past Morgan or South Carolina State, and that one's on the road on Halloween.
What about Lynchburg? You just skipped over Lynchburg. But
Don't do that.
The Morgan State, that's going to be homecoming here. So that'll be big because it's homecoming. So that'll be making a little bit more favorable environment for the Eagles. And at South Carolina State, we'll see what type of team South Carolina State's going to be there. But that Friday night showdown, I guarantee you, everybody's got that marked on their calendar. And I'm going to say, are the Bison from Howard going to live up to their end of the bargain to make that the game of the year? Past 2 seasons, whoever won that game in the conference gone to the Celebration Bowl.
Well, Jay, among the things, you know, let's harken back to something you were just talking about in terms of putting up 66 points on the North Carolina A&T Aggies. There was something that didn't necessarily sit right with Trey Oliver last year after beating the Aggies. Coach Vincent Brown went to Twitter and said, hey, look, the little school up the road will never be able to match what A&T has achieved or offers. We are the best for a reason, Aggie pride. Now, this was a picture of the trophy case after it. Now, I'm not trying to get messy, but it was something that was brought up in his weekly press conference that he was reminded of and didn't care for as Blizzard gets loose.
And one thing we've learned is that Trey Oliver knows what's going on. He hears about everything.
Yes. He says, I don't read it personally, although that's questionable. That's debatable. He says, my an assistant will come and bring it
Personal
to me, and so I'll
foul.
learn about it.
Defense, number 37. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So, tale of two coaches right there. And, you know, one guy, Trey Oliver, is settled in who he is. Coaches love him, this atmosphere of the school. And the other one trying to catch his footing at North Carolina A&T. And then
It was something that Vincent Brown did tell us this week. Hey, look, you know, kind of the motto is we are chasing excellence, and that starts with habits and preparation, effort, can produce excellent results.
got to win some ball games over there in Greensboro, though. Brownie, I'll tell you, you got to win some games because it won't take much for those Aggie fans to start asking some questions. And such a proud base, being the largest HBCU, they demand a lot on and off the field. I'm curious what the records were for Sam Washington and Rob Broadway in this series. Something in, I mean, the record book said nobody's ever given up 66 in this.
Well, I feel like based on Rod Broadway's winning percentage, which is the highest in program history, I mean, there was a time outside of, 2016 when Central made it to the Celebration Bowl at the time. And then oftentimes, or at least a couple of times, it came down to that game. That game was ever so important in determining who would make it to the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, but I remember one year A&T was like #1 team in the country, and they got smoked. They had already clinched going to the Cricket Celebration Bowl or something of that nature. And I mean, it was like 30-0 at halftime. Like, whoa. For this year's version of it, one time the Eagle pride was
amplified as the Eagles soar high into another stratosphere with a 66-24 victory. Most points scored by the Eagles in this series. An all-around outstanding effort from Trey Oliver's North Carolina Central crew. Jabari Taylor, 20 carries, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He averaged better than 6 yards a carry as the Eagles amassed nearly 500 yards of offense total in tonight's game. Final thoughts, Jay?
I'm starting to get that feeling again that North Carolina Central may be becoming one of the hottest HBCUs in the country.
Well, they've got a lot to cheer about and certainly a ton of pride as they've done an excellent job tonight in protecting the nest for our entire crew. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, we're saying so long from the Bull City here from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium. We out.